You ready?
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Can you see us, hear us?
Can you see here? Can you see what we're saying? Can you see us moving? Are we in sync? We're watching on Yoly's phone so we can make sure this is working.
And all we can see is an ad right now.
There you go.
That's not good.
Skip the ad. You're not supposed to do that. Hey, it looks like we're live.
Hey, hi. Welcome.
Welcome to Christmas.
Welcome to Christmas. It's getting earlier and earlier every year, huh?
Christmases?
Yeah.
Tony says he can see us. Marcy says yes.
Hi.
Ahí estáis, says Matt.
Hola.
Hola de Nueva York. Welcome. We're, okay, looks like we are finally live.
Hi, everyone.
I'm a little nervous.
I am too.
Did I say that last year?
You probably do. You say you get up in the morning, you're like, I'm a little bit nervous today.
I'm a bit nervous about today. Am I going to get through it? We had Yoly's family for lunch today.
Yeah.
I made a fabada.
Ole.
Asturiana.
Yeah.
Turned out pretty good.
It was yummy. It was delicious.
It?
Yeah. Good work there.
I messed up a little bit the tocino, the
because,
fat.
Yeah. Well, we were given salty tocino. So we started saying, we should just put that soaking in water, but we didn't. So then we boiled it, but then we half did everything to it, and in the end, it wasn't enough. So it was a little bit tough.
But it was a good fabada.
Oh, it was
the beans,
delicious.
Everything. It was intense, but and
Flavor
feeling not
right
too
there.
heavy. What it does mean, what you can't see off camera, Lucia is at Yoly's feet.
She's had a bouncer here, and she's actually quite animated right now. Quite, enjoying our voices and listening, learning.
So 15 minutes ago, she was crying. Well, it's been a long day. So when family come to visit, obviously she doesn't have her nap. And so then she gets all kind of frisky. And then she gets a bit, she's
it
like,
was a little
happy
bit
and she's
hairy.
crying.
Like 15 minutes ago, it was very hairy and not looking good.
It may get hairy again, but this is live TV, so we got to go live, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
we had a nappy change, and that seems to have a kind of
we all changed our diapers, and now we're feeling fresh, and we're ready to go. But she seems good. We actually had our members only live stream the other day, and once we started talking, she seemed to enjoy it. So you may be able to hear her down there.
You will. Hopefully you can hear us over her voice.
Keep going in the chat. Erjan, great to see you. Great to see so many people that we know. Jose, Anna's there. All right, there goes Lucia down there. Yoly may have to leave at various points to feed Lucia if it gets hairy, but we're going to
feed her all the time.
Feed her constantly. We're going to, this is very different from last year. Last year we didn't have a 3-month-old at your feet.
No.
But I digress. We are going to dive into these wines. Put your hand up if you were here last year for the wine tasting last year, which was about this time last year. She is very excited. She likes to hear us talk. She's a very verbal person. Who would have thought with mum and dad who aren't big talkers?
So shy. Yeah. Such shy people.
So put your hand up if you were here last year. I've got the 5 wines here. I've got a liqueur that we're going to finish up with in the fridge, keeping cool. So keep going in the chat. We'll be answering questions. Drop any questions. We'll try and keep up. Sometimes it gets a little busy in there. And here we are. 3 minutes in, I can see. We'll hit the wine soon. Let me just give you like the spiel, the kind of the intro. This is something that we did last year, just on a whim. A friend of ours, Kike, runs a website that you'll be able to see if you click the link that's posted up there. For some reason, I can't click it. So if you click that link, you'll see it goes up to a website called Buy Sherry Wine. That's run by a friend called Kike of ours, and he ships wine, not just sherry, all Spanish wines.
Is his name Kike of ours?
His name's Kike of ours. Yeah, I have Kike here on WhatsApp, so he's probably saying my name is not Kike of ours, but he runs that. And so last year he got in touch and he said, hey, we should do this wine tasting. This would be fun. And I was like, well, that'd be great. And so we just did it on a whim. I don't know if you remember last year we had some internet issues and then suddenly we had to rush back in an Uber and we started late.
Yeah. It was quite an adventure.
And then he got in touch this year and he's like, should we do it again? I was like, yeah. And maybe this is going to become an annual thing, the annual Christmas James and Yoly's.
I can see a clear pattern here.
Yeah, is to a
1
pattern.
year and then the next year again.
We've got lots of people putting their hand up that they were here last year.
Yeah, good to see you all.
Yeah, we've got an aubergine. Jim put an aubergine up. Don't know what that means, but I suspect that means you're Rick and Sarah from Texas. So, Question. A few people have asked. Now, obviously, you're breastfeeding, Yoly. So, because I feel like we're going to get a lot of comments about this or questions, why don't you just give us your kind of situation in terms of wine right now?
In terms of wine, I haven't had a single drop of wine in quite a while now. And so what my plan is today is to smell the wine. So given I'm a super taster, I don't really need to taste the wine. So I'm just going to be smelling it because, well, I'm refraining from drinking any kind of alcohol because I am breastfeeding. And if the alcohol is in my blood, it's in my milk. And given that, I am breastfeeding and I haven't expressed milk for Lucia, then that's it. I'm going to be smelling it.
And I know there'll be a few comments that, but it goes from your thing in 2 hours, but Lucia eats constantly. She's a big eater like mom and dad.
She does. So I would need like a whole kind of milk bank kind of stored in the fridge, and I don't have it.
Exactly. So I'm just going to catch up. Can you give a shout out to my wife, Meg Finch-Jones? I want her to join me. Big shout out to Meg. Come and join Tony. Don't let him drink alone. Just catching up here. Please keep drinking till you start crying and tell everyone you could have been a contender. That's a Rocky call. I like that one. Oh. You know when sometimes you're reading a comment and you haven't read the full comment yet and you're halfway through and you're like, should I be reading this? But,
what am I getting myself into?
James is going to be passed out before it's over. Lol. Maybe.
We'll see. However, we have a bowl here.
I'm a
You're a professional.
I'm a professional. I was going to say I'm a responsible father now. I even shaved for this. We should get into the wines. We don't want to keep people waiting too long.
Yeah.
But the last thing. So here's the deal. Like last year, there's a link that's pinned at the top. If you click that, you can follow along the wines that we're tasting. You can follow a brief little description. You can see what they're called, things like that. You can also order the wines if you want to inject a little Spanish booze and flavor into your holiday meals, or just without food, more bang for your buck if you drink on an empty stomach. So there you go.
For breakfast.
Yeah, for breakfast. I mean, some people are having breakfast now.
Hey.
And so if you decide to do that, you can click the link. Now, heads up. Last year, it was pretty much shipping only to the US. It's shipping to the US. Also, if you happen to be in Europe, UK, and Spain, you can also buy them. All the amounts are in US dollars, but obviously it's, you can do the transfer. You can do the exchange
Conversion.
and figure it out yourself. But the amounts, the prices in US dollars. And just a heads up for those, particularly from the US, the shipping is 3 to 4 weeks. So if you do want to buy it and you're in the pack and you're in the US, hope you can hear me over Lucia, then to get out on the next boat, you need to order within the next 24 hours. So today is Sunday. By Monday at midnight, in about 30 hours from now, is the limit to get on the next boat. Then, and I'm going to check my notes because I don't want to get this wrong. This is important stuff. That's to really kind of be more sure you're going to get it for the holidays. So in the next 24 hours to go out in the next shipment. The next sort of deadline after that is to order by the 22nd of November. Which is in about, what's today, the 14th?
Today? Yes.
8 days.
Uh-huh.
And if you do that, then you'll go out on the shipment after that. Then it's getting a little tight for the holidays, but again, 3 to 4 weeks to the US, so you should be good. Just a heads up, also, the wines are discounted right now, and the discount ends on the 22nd, all right? So anyway, ideally, the idea is if you want to get them in the next 24 hours. Okay, I'm going to do a little catch up because Yoly's already leaving. She's out. She's like, I'm done. She just like walks out the door. What would I do? No, she's getting toys. And do ask questions. Between each wine, we will answer certain questions. So let me have a look. So Tegan, Peter, Buckley, hi from the UK. The three of us in our family are fans and we're drinking along. Good for you. It's good to see the family drinking along. I like that, That feels good. Are there any good Spanish dishes that include vermouth as an ingredient from Emily? And I feel like that's a good cue. Now...
Wow.
Not that I'm sure there's like some
mention.
Michelin-y kind of that does vermouth as an ingredient.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I would want vermouth as an ingredient in my dish. I sometimes find those kind of dishes when they're kind of modern and it has vermouth as an ingredient or something similar.
Only for a dessert, maybe. For me, anyway.
But then it's like, so not that I know of. I mean, it's an ingredient in that it's in your mouth at the same time as your aperitif. So,
I mean, if you consider the Negroni recipe like a meal, then Negroni has vermouth.
Hello from California. It's 1 p.m. and all. Okay, let's get in. Snarly Kitty just ordered my 6 bottles. Thank you for your support of my drinking habits, Snarly. Maria already ordered. You might be cooking chicken masala with vermouth. There you idea. There's a good idea. Okay. Now, I'm going to kick off, and what I want to do with each wine, and what we'll do is after we go through each wine, we'll do a little stop and we'll review and try and, hit some of the questions. I'm going to hold this up, what we've got here. Now, the face tracking is very good on the camera, so I have to hold it in front of Yoly's face. Yoly, can you tell me?
Yeah, I'm just opening the
OBS.
Hang on.
You know how to do it?
I'm
Just
clicking on... here,
Yeah.
There.
Yoly doesn't know how to use a Mac. Okay, hands off. There you go.
There you go.
Tell me if it's in focus.
Yes, it is now.
Okay, so there you go.
La Cuesta Vermouth.
Can you see it?
Reserva.
Very good. Coming back. Okay. Now, just minimize that. There you go.
I was able to do that
You were able to do it, yeah. Get nervous when people...
And bouncing Lucia at the same time. How about that?
That's pretty good. Using a trackpad and
Never
bouncing Lucia
forget
at the
that I
same time.
am bouncing our baby all the time.
So I wanted to include this in the pack. We're going to start with the vermouth. We're going to be drinking in logical order. I wanted to start with the vermouth because, you start with vermouth when you're out in Spain. And I was thinking about this. I was going for a jog this morning. I was like, wow, I really feel like... I always remember my mother when, my parents were visiting in Spain, just fell in love with vermouth. It was just like, oh my God, it's such a great drink. And since then, it's become such a big deal. And what's interesting, I'm going to do my little history kind of asides as we go through. But, well, let me get into this vermouth first let me pour it so you can start smelling. How much do you need to smell a thing? About that, right?
Yeah, about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be,
Do we put it back in the bottle?
No, that's weird.
Well,
Yoly can be funny even when she's not drinking. This is great.
That's why you married me, yeah?
Yeah, that's true. Somebody said that you laugh at my jokes, which is great. So last year we included a vermouth. It was a vermouth from Madrid that I love. And this year why I'm including this in the pack is this year I wanted to kind of change things up a little bit. I wanted to do a vermouth that was a little, not more memorable, I would say, but was kind of unique. And so this is from a winery in Rioja, Martínez de la Cuesta. You can see here, La Cuesta Vermouth. They have been making this vermouth since the 1930s. It's one of the oldest wineries still running from Rioja. It started in 1895. And now they have a stock standard vermouth. These guys, they have a very stock standard vermouth, and it's yummy. Actually, La Casa del Abuelo, if you guys know that, the place that's famous for its gambas, they do it there. But this one is their Reserva. And what is unique about this is that it's aged for 7 months in, actually I read acacia barrels, which I thought was interesting. And I was like...
Acacia.
I was like, acacia, isn't that the tree that used to be on Paseo de las Delicias where we used to live?
I think so, yeah. Or
Best.
Paseo de las Acacias, which is
there you go. Yeah.
next door.
Yeah, okay. I hope that's one there. So I want to do this, and this is a really interesting vermouth. And what I like about this one, as you see, it's a Reserva, aged, and it's not some modern kind of thing. We'll talk about the history of vermouth in a moment once we've had a sip. It's not some sort of modern sort of, hey, just a Rioja winery got on the bandwagon. It's to say, they're making it since 1930. If you go onto their website...
The real deal.
Oh, totally. But you can see some awesome artwork from the 1930s, like, beautiful posters that they used to use, advertisements. And kind of what I love about this, first of all, this winery, we do have a wine from Rioja. We've got this guy up here. But just to touch on the region briefly, this is a winery that's in Haro,
H-A-R-O.
Yoly will do the spelling, right? I'm already drunk on the fumes. H-A-R-O. Now, we went to Haro, didn't we?
We did. It was
what did
wonderful...
we like about Haro? There was a unique kind of aspect. I'm not putting Yoly on the spot here.
That it was all in the same street?
Yes.
I really like that.
One of the challenges...
Not a lot of walking.
Yeah.
A lot of walking distance.
Well, no driving. One of
driving.
the challenges I feel like wine tourism in Spain is obviously distance between wineries. Well, wine tourism in a lot of places. But if you go to Haro, put your hands up if you've been there, you can walk between a few really famous wineries, and you can try fantastic wine in their tasting rooms, and it's literally 2 minutes walking between it. And then you go for lunch in the town. And I can't wait to get back. I want to do a video of it. I didn't even think about that, but now that would be a great video.
It's good.
Walking...
And my memory is kind of vague.
So you got to get back.
Why. So
back.
we need to go.
Once you're expressing that milk, so you can be on the bandwagon.
Exactly.
Is it off the wagon or on the wagon? I never know.
I never know either.
Yeah.
I think it's the opposite you think.
Yeah. I don't know why they did that. They did it wrong.
Yeah.
So this is from Haro. I suggest you go and visit. Haro Toledo is a railway town, and when we'll talk about a little bit about Rioja a little bit later, but when the French came to Rioja region to make wine to ship back to France, when phylloxera, that bug, destroyed the French vineyards in the 19th century, they had to go to a railway town so they could ship the wines back. So Martinez La Cuesta, what I found interesting is this winery. I was reading a bit about the history. So in the early 20th century, one of the owners, well, I think it was like the brother of the founder or the son of the founder, he took his wines into South America, and he was going over the Andes on a mule with his samples, accompanied by a sherry salesman and an organ salesman from the Basque Country.
That
Not like organs from inside, but organs that you play. And I think that's a really interesting reflection of Spanish wine history. That in the early 20th,
Spanish trade at the time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think any trade, But back in the day, is like the two big regions were sherry and Rioja. And now sherry has dipped in recent years because in the 70s it kind of fell out of fashion, but Rioja still stays strong. And in the video we put out last week about kind of the problem with Spanish wine was talking, kind of the strength of Rioja is its history. It's just been so strong for so long. So let's taste this.
Bueno, let's smell it, huh?
Let's smell it. Sorry. They also, in 1904, Martinez La Cuesta opened on Calle del Carmen, number 18. Don't look for it today. It's not there. It's a bad shoe shop. Opened a sucursal, like a little branch in Madrid for sales internationally. I thought that was really cool. In the early 20th century, they had a shop in Madrid to sell their wines.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah. Pretty rare, I reckon, at the day.
Totally.
Yeah?
Totally. Yeah. As I say, most people were drinking, bulk wine. And again, if you haven't seen the video about the problem with Spanish wine, go back and take a look. I'm curious to see what you think. All right. Sniffing.
I need to clear my nose.
I'm always nervous because I feel like I'm going to go back to the chat. Everyone's like, I'm so bored. This is horrible. This is a boring video.
I'm leaving now.
Yeah, I hate you. I'm never watching your videos again. Okay. No, people are not saying that.
Unsubscribed.
Yoly looks fantastic. Somebody said.
Thank you.
Lani.
Thank you, Lani.
Yeah. I agree.
You look fantastic too.
Lani looks great today. Okay, what do you smell? While I look at the...
While you look at the notes?
Yeah, while I look at what I'm supposed to smell. Oh my God, you look fantastic. And Simon says, James looks like he's had a few drinks already.
I say it's all pretty correct,
Simon.
pretty accurate.
Taking serious notes. Okay.
So we said that it has barrel, right? I wasn't really listening. Sorry.
There you go. Yeah, 7 months barrel aging.
Well, I smell the wood.
I smell the wood?
Yeah, I smell the aging, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit ajerezado.
Ajerezado, exactly.
Why don't you explain what ajerezado
right up
means?
my alley. So ajerezado means that it tastes / smells a little bit like sherry, like sherry wine, right?
Oxidized.
Because it has been aged in a similar way, so oxidized, yeah.
What do you get? It is a little cold, the vermouth, I must say.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm getting pressure. But yeah, you snip. Captain Sparrow from Egypt and the Philippines. In 2 places, Captain Sparrow. That's impressive.
I smell like cinnamon and like spicy, right?
Yeah. Wood, cinnamon, spice.
Wood, yeah. That's what I get. And a little bit of the alcohol, of course, as well. I think I'm getting drunk already. I mean, I think I would get drunk very easily now.
Well, we did look at the idea of Yoly. You were going to look at like swirling it around, but apparently you take a lot of alcohol. Well, not a lot.
Yeah, a little bit in the end.
Have you ever tried a rosé from Murcia? No, we haven't. Okay, let's have a sip of this. Well, me.
You taste it.
Okay.
What were you getting in the nose? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, good call. What am I getting in the nose? I get cinnamon.
Don't copy me.
I get vanilla. I get this kind of almost like a chocolatey thing, like a subtle chocolatey note.
Was that on the notes?
Yeah. Hang on. What do I get? I literally do have notes here just because when I'm preparing these, I like bang out a whole bunch of things, but then I don't ever look at them. I get cardamom,
Oh, yeah.
There was one that I was like, I don't even know what this is. Hang on. Bitter orange, black chocolate. Bitter orange peel with black chocolate. That's it. I got the chocolate. I didn't look. There was one, and I'll see if I can find it later. I was like, I don't even know what that thing is. I was like, is that a miss?
The Consia, I didn't have a clue what that was.
Where does it say that?
It's Consia.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Great. You're in good hands.
Okay. So what this vermouth is like, compared to a lot of other vermouths, it's fuller and it's richer. It's thicker in the mouth. It's like, you know, vermouth is like you're out for tapas in Madrid, you're enjoying yourself, you know, or in Barcelona or wherever. And, you know, it's easy drinking. This one's got some more depth to it. It's got that age. It's got a little bit of that kind of oxidation. It's really, really good. It's got more complexity than a stock standard vermouth.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I can tell by the nose already.
Yeah. And so you could even, you know, you could drink this in a wine glass if you want to be really pretentious, you know.
Go easy. It's only the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Orange, you really get that. I didn't get as much on the nose. It's also quite cold. But in the mouth, I get that orange peel, this beautiful kind of orange peel. Now, you would serve this, if you were going to serve it Spanish style, you would serve it on ice with a slice of orange. Right? You could put this in a cocktail. You could make a Negroni with this. You could, what else? Negroni, your drink.
My drink, my cocktail.
Back in the day.
Love it. Back in the day when I used to drink.
Yeah.
Almost a year ago.
Yeah. And so Negroni, you could, this would be a great cocktail vermouth, I think. Let me catch up with what people are saying.
Yeah.
What holiday are you celebrating? All of them. Yeah. I just read Simon's, James looks like he's had a few drinks already, and I was like, is somebody else saying that? So Greg said many people only know Noali Pratt, which I never know how to say. Like Noali, I feel awkward saying, and then Pratt, I feel awkward saying as well. But yeah, this is a great vermouth. This is a harder one to find, and I think what I also note, you can, because of that barrel aging, it's almost got a red wine quality to it. There's a bit more of a red wine quality that you don't normally get in a vermouth.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, let's get pissed.
Ole.
I sort of said fished. Okay. Okay, catching up. Best lighting you've had in your videos. Thank you, Amy.
Oh, thanks.
We actually got a camera upgrade some months ago. How long do these wines... So Jimmy's asking, how long do these wines last once open? That's a really good question, Jimmy. And it's one I always love to kind of help people understand, because it's it's hard to know. Particularly if you're drinking, if you live, there's two of you or there's one of you and you're going to drink, say, one glass a night, things like that. So a vermouth is going to last a hell of a lot of time. This has 15%. It's got a lot of sugar and it's got more alcohol. Well, it's got the alcohol of a strong wine.
Strong wine, yeah.
This will last, as long as you want, pretty much in the fridge. It won't last long because you're going to go through it really quickly.
Hopefully until I can drink again.
I've had this amount is what I've had today, because I had two with your parents before
Oh la la.
Well, no, you had some here.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not going to finish all that. I have one more sip.
You better not.
So the other thing, if you have a white, like this guy we've got here, what you want to buy is one of those little wine pump things.
Vacuum
for about $10.
thing. Yeah.
And
Vacuum.
Is that what it's called? Vacuum. You put a little cap in there and you pump the air out. And then it's going to last a lot longer. And you always keep your wines in the fridge, no matter what, right? Unless you live in a cool place, you don't want to keep your wines on the kitchen bench.
Like in the North Pole?
If you live in the North Pole, you can keep your wines on the kitchen bench. But if here's a Rioja, right? I open this. Here's the little knob you can see on the top. So I pumped it out because I had just a little to remind myself about it. I tasted it yesterday. Keep it in the fridge. And then that means when you bring it out, it's going to be too cold. So if you're going to have it in an hour, pour it an hour early and just leave it out. And then pump it and put it back. And that way, this wine is going to last 5 days, 6 days. The white, about similar, maybe a day or so less. So that's an idea. Okay, we need to keep moving along.
Yeah.
Andrea can't wait to jump on the wine train. Childreco has asked 8 times, a lot of times.
1,000 times.
Seems to have come through. I hope. Is there a special store where you can buy them? The link at the top, you can buy them there. If you click the link, the pinned comment, you can buy them, and I'll make sure to drop that in again once we move on to the next one. A lot of times you've mentioned that. I hope you're okay. Huge Vermouth fan. I might have to put that user into timeout. How do I do that? Okay.
Done.
I don't think that user can. Yeah, that was a little. I don't know if he's planning to buy or if that was a little spamming. Do I see a bottle of cava too? Okay, I'm gonna have one more sip. Then we're gonna move on to the cava. That's a good. Is it too early in Hawaii to drink vino? But I can have a mimosa.
Yeah, go ahead.
Delicious. I'm all on to the Reserva vermouths. And I say and just a little kind of historical note here before we hit the cava. what I find interesting when you look at wine history or any history, that's when you really understand the drink. So Vermouth was invented in the 18th century in Turin, in Italy. Like a pharmacist invented it. How did it become, and so that's why, there's Vermouth in France, there's Vermouth in Italy. How did Vermouth become a thing in Spain? So in the early 20th century, Italian immigrants from Italy coming to Barcelona to work and start a better life brought Vermouth with them. So Vermouth became a big thing in Barcelona and in Catalonia in the early 20th century in Spain. And that was really when the drink arrived. And so traditionally, and it really became a big deal. And so, Vermouth kind of bars opened up, often run by the wineries themselves who are making the Vermouth. And so what's really, really interesting is that we often talk about la hora del vermouth, like Vermouth time, we say in Spanish, it's literally the hour of Vermouth, but it's like Vermouth time. And this idea of having a Vermouth in Madrid, in Barcelona, where it's really, really traditional, before lunch, comes from the idea that people used to, saying, the 1920s in Barcelona, 1930s, they would go to church on a Sunday, and then after church, they would go to and drink Vermouth. And so the idea of having Vermouth at about, mid-morning on a weekend with friends came from the idea of something you did after church.
Very naughty.
Yeah, very interesting.
Is that what they learned, huh?
That's what they learned. That's all they learned. I mean, that's,
to drink alcohol right after Mass.
Why, you drink alcohol during Mass, so, there's not a lot of difference. So you just, keep going,
Well, that got me started.
Yeah, exactly that. That sermon. And what's interesting when it came to Madrid, when I moved to Madrid in 2011, 12, around there, Vermouth wasn't trendy like it is now. It became really trendy about sort of 2013, 2014. It was not a big deal. It was kind of like, it was like something people would drink, but it really has come and gone in Spain in terms of trend. Now it's super trendy.
Yeah, my thing is how can it ever be out? I mean, it's such an amazing drink that I just cannot understand how, Vermouth cannot be trendy sometimes. I understand that sherry wine.
We made it trendy, baby.
Yeah, I mean, sherry wine is becoming trendy again, but it wasn't that trendy for quite a long time. And I can understand how sherry can be difficult for some people because it's, it's a pretty much acquired taste, right? But I mean, Vermouth is like Coca-Cola. Like who doesn't like it,
Yeah, and it does pack a punch, It's true. I mean, 15 degrees, knock a couple of those back. And the sugar also, I think, probably. I'm not a chemist, but that gets you going. So a couple of questions. Jeff says, were you into New Zealand wine when you were in New Zealand? Not really, actually. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't something I was particularly into. I really got into wine when I came to Spain. So before we hit the
starting to, I guess, but we used to actually buy the
cheap stuff.
Kind of the cheap stuff from the supermarket, and usually South African.
South
African, and Australian wine,
Yeah. Do you notice health benefits due to any specific oil wines in general? Not at all. I don't notice any health benefits. I'm not sure if there are. I mean, maybe if you got anxiety, a little nip now and again might chill you out. ¿Habéis probado vino Somontano? Yeah, I really like the wine from Somontano. Would we do a gin and tonic tasting in the future? That would be serious, but would love to go. Raphael says, have you tried Luke Darracot's wine tasting events at the shop? So there's a shop called, I lost my concentration there.
Lucia's really calling for us.
Our child was complaining. A shop called Madrid and Darracot, a wine shop in Madrid. They do wine tastings. I haven't been to one of their tastings, but it's a great shop. Okay. A question from Jim. There used to be a Spanish wine called Clarette that was halfway between rosé and red wine. Do you have any info about it? So, Jim, I may be able to give you the complete wrong information. So, Clarette is a really interesting term that used to be the term that was used for Bordeaux wines. So, if you were, back in the 1800s in London and you were drinking a Bordeaux, it was called a claret. A claret, not a claret, a claret. Uh-huh. Clarette, and correct me if I'm wrong, someone's watching this, I have read a little bit about it. There are ways to make a clarette as a mix of red and white, which I think is a traditional thing to kind of make a mixture of red and white grapes, just kind of shoved together and with the skins as well. So you've got this kind of sort of rosé type wine. It's not really a style that is made now and again these days, as far as I'm aware, but it was something that was just informally made. Because in the end, if you just happen to have in your field red grapes and white grapes, you chuck them in, then and let them sit on the skins, then you would get a claret wine. So It's not a
I
wine
wonder
that's
what
like
is that. Have you tried it? Like, I mean, can you buy it nowadays?
I don't know if you can buy it, and it may be, there may be. It was kind of almost like local, bulk production. Someone would just kind of make their own wine. It just happened to be a clarete, a mixture of red and white. So I may be wrong there. Do you speak English or Spanish to the baby? What do we speak, Yoly, while I open this cava?
So I only speak in Spanish to the baby, and James only speaks in English to the baby, and then what's called the minority language. Given we are in Spain, the strong language is Spanish, because Lucia is going to be learning it everywhere she goes. But the minority language is English. So that is the language that James and I share when we are speaking to each other. So that's Spanish for me, English for James, and then English for the household, I guess.
Did you get that? And then English for the live streams.
Yeah, for sure. Spanish one is tomorrow. No,
We're doing
kidding.
duplicate live streams. Yoly just turns to the right to another camera and translates what I say. Just a reminder, if you do want to buy the wines, there's a pinned comment with a link where you can buy them. All right. Oi, this one's frisky. Ready? Remember, turn the bottle, not the cork, and never let go of the cork.
And it needs to sound like?
And it should sound like a nun's fart. And it's not going to this time. Ole.
Ole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost not. I didn't know.
That was a nun's fart after a fabada. There was potencia
Potencia.
Okay, I'm going to show this. Yoly, how's Lucia doing? Update?
She's good. She's got a lot of dribble under her mouth, though. So I'm going to fix that soon. Let me see. There. Yeah, it's focused. Yeah. Alsina Isarda.
2015 Grand Reserva?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Very good.
Lovely.
Okay.
How do I go to the other? There.
We're hitting the cava.
Okay, we need to embinar, right?
Yeah.
Shall I embinar?
Yeah, that'd be great. Embinar means to pour a little bit in.
Oops.
Wait.
Epa.
We didn't bring napkins, I realize.
Okay, I'll go pick them. Oh,
the minute
nena,
you leave,
ya voy
Lucia
contigo.
will go nuts, and I will suddenly be...
Embinar, did you explain?
So you want to do a wine tasting, you put a little bit of the next wine into the glass to kind of rinse it out.
Ya voy contigo, bebé.
Okay. So, cava. Now, we did a cava last year from the same producer, but we've cranked it up. We've cranked it up to 11. So, I really love this producer. The classic cava, really, really delicious. From Penedès, obviously, the region, but really from the Cava region. Now, Cava is the only region in Spain that is not, and I always forget the name, is not geographically always in the same place. So you can get cavas from Catalunya, from, Dio Cava, the region, can be in Catalunya. It can also be in Extremadura, and also in Valencia. But most cavas, I would say 95%, come from the Catalunya part of the Cava region. And this guy, so what we've done is we've turned it up. We've normally, last year we did their one of their classic cavas, and this year we're doing the Grand Reserva. So this means this guy has been aged for 3 to 4 years. Once they do the second fermentation, which I'll talk about in a moment, it's been aged to create this really, really complex wine. And it is also an interesting grape selection. All right, Yoly's.
Yeah, she's getting a little bit frisky, a little bit tired of being in there.
Yeah, fair enough.
Give
I
her
would
a
be
break.
too. All right.
She's like, I want to smell the
Okay.
wine too.
Okay, let me just... Yeah, this is we've added complexity this year. We're last year it was easy. Let's add a baby to the live tasting.
Let's throw a baby in. See what happens.
Deb said, can I order now and pick up in Madrid when I arrive there? No, really, you can't do pickup. So the best would be to order it to a Madrid address. That would be the best one. Yeah, we can't do pickup, I'm afraid. Are house wines in Spanish restaurants worth it, or should you always go for something else? Sometimes, Jeff, and I guess what I was trying to get across in my video the other day was that sometimes a rustic, simple wine is fine. It depends on your mood. I love all wines, from the simplest to the beautiful, complex, expensive that, obviously don't drink much of. So if you're just, I was in a place in Castilla-La Mancha. We were actually having lunch 2 days ago with some friends, and I just said, un Rioja. And the guy brought the bottle, right? And just put it down there. Super simple, but whatever. I was just out on a terrace with friends, so that was fine. Yeah. But if I was, today I feel like something special, I'd say, what wines have you got? And then see what's on the list. Obviously, I would probably have to go by the bottle if I wanted to get a little bit more interesting. So, again, there's no right or wrong. It's just what moment are you in? What kind of wine do you want? And so what's great is to have the knowledge and the skill to be able to make some choices. So I'm going to have a sniff of this one. Wow. Ooh, this is good.
Yeah?
Get your nose in that. Are you able to...
Yeah, I'm sure I can.
We're trying to protect her privacy while while do a live stream. So Bill says, I remember enjoying Toledo table wine. What is Toledo table wine? So in the world of Spanish wine, there's 69 wine regions. DO means wine region. So DO Rioja, it's actually DOC, but Rioja, DO Castilla-La Mancha, DO Madrid, for example. But there's also wine that's made outside those regions. And if you see VT, that means Vino de Tierra, which is supposedly the quality layer under the DO. But so what you might have been drinking was wine from VT Castilla-La Mancha. Right?
Yeah,
Maybe?
yeah, tierras de...
Tierras de something? Yeah.
De Castilla.
See, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would have been drinking that probably. Okay. Have you had a sniff?
Yes, I did.
What'd you
get? Yeah, like a peach, I guess.
Yeah.
Stone fruit.
Yeah.
I guess.
I got a big whiff.
Yeah. Very fresh, very nice.
But also
very nice.
yeasty, right?
Yeasty, a little bit of yeast
I
in
sound like
there.
I'm putting yeasty, wasn't it? Say yeasty. That will support my thesis for the wine.
Oh yes, there was yeast in there.
Okay.
Going in.
Okay. So why I wanted to put this cava in here? This is normally cava's made in the exact same way as champagne. So you make a white wine, you put it in the bottle. And then what you do is you have your white wine sitting in the bottle, and then you have you have a second fermentation. It ferments in the bottle, and so you pour in a little bit of yeast, and you put a beer cap on top of it. Again, there's sparkling wines that are not made this way. There's sparkling wines that are made where they just pump gas into it to create bubbles, but that's not the best way to do it. So cava, exactly the same as the champagne method, the méthode champenoise. And so they put yeast in there, put a beer cap on. There's a second fermentation that happens in the bottle, which creates the gas, creates the bubbles, and also gives a flavor. It gives complexity to the wine. But then what they can do is once that yeast dies, they can actually leave the wine on its aging for a period of time, and it takes on more complexity. So this wine has been aged after that second fermentation for 3 to 4 years. And then finally, look, it's a 2015, right? And we're in 2021. So then it's aged a little bit just in bottle, it's aged in bottle for 3 to 4 years, and then probably on its side, and then probably a little bit of time in the cellar. And so what you get is this wine that has this yeasty kind of quality. It's a lot of cava is kind of young and fresh and zesty, and that's what's great about it. But this is more like a champagne in terms of its flavor profile. It's got that kind of what we say bollería in Spanish, more of like a yeasty
like,
kind of
like bready. Well,
bready.
Sort of, yeah.
It's also 50% Chardonnay is the grape. What is the other grape? It is
Charelo.
This one is Charelot, exactly.
Yeah,
so 50%. So normally cavas generally are Macabeo, Parellada, and Charelot, right? Those are 3 grapes. This one is 50% Chardonnay, which is also a grape obviously commonly used in champagne. And so it has more of a champagne quality. And so I thought this would be fun after last year to kind of turn up the notch a little bit. It's dry. It's not sweet. Brut nature. It means there's no sugar that's been added to it. And I really, really love it. This is like your perfect Christmas morning, holiday morning, 11 a.m.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, 11 a.m. I was going to say 10 a.m., but I was like,
It's pushing it.
We've got a child here. So I was going to say, this is your morning. It's like, let's get open. Let's have something special. Let's take our time with it. Let's keep it in the fridge. Let's take a sip. Let's have another glass about, 45 minutes later while we're still, fiddling with the Christmas tree or whatever you're doing. I don't know. But this is what I like, fiddling with the Christmas tree. I feel like that's one of those bad t-shirts they sell on this website. Fiddling with the Christmas tree. I have no idea. I'm going in again.
Oh,
she's doing well. Yeah, it's dry, it's crisp. Let me see what's happening in there. So Sharon asked, is cava made like champagne? Yes, exactly. Having a cup of tea in LA and seriously tempted to break out the Vermouth cava. Yes. Hi James, do you ever have a good chacolí have you ever enjoyed a good chacolí in País Vasco? I love drinking chacolí in the País Vasco. Chacolí is a white wine from the Basque country that has a slight little fizz to it, generally because it's, I believe because it's very young, and so there's generally still a little bit of gas in there. Served from a height, So good to drink. Often has a slightly lower alcohol portion, so you serve it from a height to give it a little zest, and it's usually about 12 degrees. Great thing when you're going for pinchos in the Basque Country, drink chacolí.
It feels very, very light. It's also very dangerous because you can just drink too much of it.
Yeah.
Oh!
Sipping a 2000, Amy is sipping a 2018 Rioja. That's good. Greg says, there are some fantastic cavas from Spain. Can you explain the different colored cava labels on top, please? White, green, black. Do you mean for this specific brand or generally? You know, this one being a Grand Reserva, generally when you see the different color labels, you'll see this with Rioja as well. It will signify the amount of time it's been aged for. All right. Baby has a lot of black hair. Yep.
Yeah.
Adorable baby.
Thank you.
Keep them coming. Okay, I'm catching up. Had the wine to comment. My Paella Valenciana pointed out, where's the rabbit? So cava is sparkling wine or bubbly wine? Is there a difference, Jimmy? But yeah, both. Sparkling and bubbly. Marco's a big fan of Raventós y Blanc. Yeah, that's a great cava producer. They might have changed now. They call it because there's been a big hoo-ha, and this goes a little bit to the video I made, last week with Rioja and cava. There's been some breakaway
from the
wineries
official
from
regions
because you can get cava that's not this good quality, that's super cheap, and that's too cheap, and that's a problem. And so you can get €2 cava, and so a lot of cava producers who make quality this brand isn't working for us anymore.
Yeah.
What's the best wine store in Madrid? A couple that I love Mariano Madrueño. Mariano Madrueño is a great wine shop. If you watch my video from last week, there we go. I'll bring the microphone closer to me.
Yeah, that's
if you watch my video from last week, I went in there. That's a fantastic one. So check those guys out. I really, really like it. They've also got a shop in La Latina as well. They've been around. It's got a little museum in there as well. Okay. Colored labels. I think we got that. Can I order now? We got that and pick up. Embinar, not empinar. Embinar. It's like vinar. Envinar. Yeah.
ENV. Yeah.
I can't believe how much Lucia has grown. You're getting a dad bod.
Me neither.
AJ says I'm getting a dad bod. Tell you what, AJ. Shall I share the news?
Oh, yes, please.
I started going to the gym a week ago because I was like, I'm getting a dad bod and have a personal trainer. I have a personal trainer. I got him once a week. His name's Jesus. He is my Messiah. And I got Jesus once a week. I go to a very cheap gym. It's €15 a month. And the personal trainer isn't very expensive either. And, I shouldn't say anything, but it's all very basic, the whole deal. But I'm going to personal trainer. So come Christmas, come next year's wine tasting, I'll be like lifting the wines and all right, we need to keep drinking. We need to keep moving through. How much should you spend on a good bottle of cava? I would go back to the video that I made last week. I know I keep referencing a lot, but obviously there's two wine things at once, these two wine videos. I generally feel like, again, it depends, like maybe €8-9 plus. You can start to get, but I would get into, for special occasions, €15-20 plus, where you can get like this aged stuff where it's been in the bodega for a long time. All right, I'm gonna have another sip because this is delicious. Oh yeah, crisp, dry. Oh my god, Christmas morning, Yoly, we're drinking this. All right, I'm gonna check my WhatsApp. Okay. Remember, if you want to order the wines, you can click the link and you can order the wines for your holiday season. All right. Okay, we're hitting the whites. Morgadillo. Now, this white. Okay, Yoly and I last year made a couple of videos in Galicia, in Rías Baixas. We went to Rías Baixas, made one video there, and Ribeira Sacra. So I wanted to have a couple of wines from Galicia for that reason. And also, if you're just joining and you want to buy the wines, remember, if you're going to buy them for the States.
I hope the microphone got that.
Lucia needs a nappy change, and I didn't have the microphone picked it up. But if you want to get these for the holidays, you need to order in the next 24 hours, pretty much. Like you can order within the next week, but to get out in the next shipment, yeah. Geez, man, we're putting the pressure on.
I know.
This is the hard sell. You gotta, otherwise it's going to be a really terrible Christmas.
Oh, that was an Envinar.
Ah, hang on.
A big Envinar.
I'm getting confused.
Yeah, you can use half to envinar yours.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
how about that?
There you go.
Maximizing.
And it's okay because in the end they're two. And at the end I will drink from the bowl. I'll do a sideways, and I'll just, have a breakdown and pour it over my head.
Our own bouquet.
Yeah.
Whoop.
All right. Lucia's still going. I hope that microphone isn't sensitive. Okay. All right. So this wine, now because Yoly's, let me see if I can hold it up, and let me see if I can get it up to, maybe I can just do it here. I have to put it in, there we go. I can do it here. I don't have to stand up. You got it, guys? Morgadillo. So, Rías Baixas. Let me go back to my main screen. Rías Baixas. This is a wine, this white wine. I love Albariños. Albariño wines, crisp, delicious, easy to drink. But this is a little different. This is why I wanted to include this one. This is a special Albariño. This is actually one that's often served in Michelin star restaurants. When it comes to Albariño, there's a lot of stuff that I find a little too easy to drink, dare I say. It's kind of like you're knocking it back. This one has a little more going on. This one has a little more body. It has a little more complexity. And this is kind of why I wanted to include it as something a little more special. Let me just kind of comment on this Galicia, because we're going to camp out in Galicia for the next two wines. We've got, is anybody else watching, well, in English it's called Cocaine Coast. In Spanish it's called Fariña, which is based on a book which is all about the drug trade that came into Galicia in the 1980s. Fascinating history. And the series, the acting is a little touch and go, I find.
Such great acting.
No, right? But really interesting look into, it's on Netflix, look into Spanish history. And so if you look at the Rías Baixas, which are these estuaries in Galicia in the northwest of Spain. So supposedly it's God rested when he was making the world, rested in Galicia, and the estuaries, these inlets were his fingers kind of scraping across the land. And so these make for great seafood, a huge fishing area. But what it also meant is it's really hard to control the coast. And so traditionally, this was where a lot of contraband tobacco used to come into Spain and be imported into Spain during the dictatorship and afterwards. And then what happened is in the 1980s, some of the families who were running the tobacco contraband moved into drugs. And so suddenly cambados,
illegal drugs.
Yeah. They weren't doing like aspirin and things like that. Like cocaine, hashish,
heroin.
Yeah.
As well at some point.
And so this was a period where cambados, which if you watch a video we made a year ago, we were in, Cambados is the capital of Rías Baixas, of this region. Suddenly this sort of fishing town, there were people driving around in Ferraris and everything. And so this kind of history is depicted in this in Fariña or Cocaine Coast in the.
Very interesting, actually. Not a lot of Rías Baixas wine being drunk.
No,
actually.
Well, I'm glad you segued there, Yoly, because this region only became official in the mid 1980s. And so what's interesting is when you look, and 90% of the wine in Rías Baixas is white. There is red wine in Rías Baixas, and 99% of the white wine is Albariño. Right, and so this is a grape that's been around. There's vines in Rías Baixas. Albariño vines are about 300 years old, and that's really old because some of the oldest vines in the world are 400 years old. And so we've been making wine here for a long time. But if you look at what I found always interesting, if you look at Cocaine Coast, if you look at Fariña, at the table they're never drinking labeled wine. They're always drinking like a bottle kind of in this shape. No label on it. And again, going back to that wine video I made last week, talking about Spanish wine and the history of Spanish wine.
Hang on, what video?
Yoly trolls me, and I think she's actually,
pretty good.
Yeah, she's good at trolling me. I'm like, hey, I'm just so, I'm so innocent,
You're like, I haven't mentioned it.
Yeah, did I mention the video? Yeah, I know. And so always drinking unlabeled wine. So drinking bulk wine. So the family would have just filled up wine from the local whatever. And usually it was red as well. So they would have just drinking local red wine, filling up their bottles from the barrel at the wine shop. Really simple stuff. But they weren't drinking white wine. And I think that's historically accurate in a lot of ways. People generally aren't constantly drinking white wine with their lunch, with their Galician stews and things like that. And so really in recent years, Albariño, the last 20, 30 years has become a big deal. Also an interesting note, and then you got to smell this, is that Albariño is one of the few wines that in Spain you order by the grape. You never go, you ask for a Rioja. You don't ask for a Tempranillo. But with Albarino and actually Mencía, the next one we'll have, which is a red, you never would go in and say, ponme un Rías Baixas. I would like a Rías Baixas. You would always say Albarino. And that's more of the New World style.
Which you, rarely do in Spain, right?
You rarely do in Spain.
I mean, with Rueda, sometimes you say...
Verdejo.
Verdejo, yeah?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it, really.
So Michelin stars, the Michelin restaurants like this wine. I like this wine. Let's see what Yoly gets on the nose. Yeah. Did she hate it? It's like, ugh. You're supposed to...
No, it's more like...
You're supposed to like the wines.
No, I'm more like, I wish I could go ahead and drink.
Nice recovery.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. All right, just checking the chat. Okay, I'm just checking the chat while you're smelling. Love the history lesson along with the tasting. Thank you for that, LG. That gives me a little thing. I'm gonna
I get stone fruit. I get Does it have a little bit of aging? I wasn't listening again.
Lees. It's on the lees.
Okay.
I'm spilling it on myself.
Oh, it's beautiful smell.
I'm just catching up. Yeah, now Yoly's overreacting. Yeah, Snow on the Atlantic. Oh, that's a good. Is the name of the book? Okay, thank you for that, Raymond. Somebody wants to see the label again. Getting the feeling James knows too much about hard drugs. Do I know too much about hard drugs? You all look happy. Are you happy, Yoly? Is life good?
No, it's good.
Yeah, is Lucia happy?
Loving it. Oh, Lucia is loving every minute.
Love the show. The book is great too. I thought you were saying the other live stream, Raymond. I got excited there. Do you know if these wines are vegan? Actually, are you a plant, Ashmeet? Because this wine is vegan.
Yeah,
this is actually it was one of the notes I was going to mention. And how can a wine be vegan? But this Albarino is vegan because often wine is filtered using egg whites. Lucia is so big. How old is she? 3 months.
3 months and a week.
Which is the oldest winery in Spain? I actually found this out because we're going to be tasting a red from the second oldest, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's not a well-known winery. This was the oldest one in Rioja. The oldest winery in Spain, I don't know. It'll be a sherry winery, I suspect.
Sherry, I would say, yes, yeah.
This is amazing, James. It doesn't matter how much you pay to attend the gym. What matters is that your exercises are effective.
Exactly.
Okay, that's true.
And that Jesus is
Can
good.
James be my drinking buddy? Oh, that means a lot. Yeah. Sorry, better put out of this pack. I didn't understand that, Jose. Okay, I'm going to stop reading the things. Okay, I caught up there. And Jeff, I want to be loving this live stream. Thank you, Haley. Are you just saying that to... Okay.
Cheer us up.
Whew. I haven't stopped talking for
I know. Good on you. It's amazing.
We're going to start to speed up.
Dry mouth.
I know I don't want dry mouth. I know you guys haven't got all night, or day or morning or whatever. Okay, I'm going in again. I get, you know what I get? When I first moved to Spain and I bit into a peach and I was like, Yoly, I have arrived.
What?
The peaches in this country are phenomenal. When you smell this, it is like the smell of peach juice running down your chin.
And I used to bitch about peaches in New Zealand. And I was like, there's no point in eating fruit in New Zealand.
Yeah, I hope my family isn't watching.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. No. But
New Zealand's
kiwis,
great,
Kiwis are amazing.
Yeah. Us or the
and the fruit.
Thank you.
Kiwis. So the bird, you guys, and the fruit are amazing, actually. But that's about it. Apples are great.
Apples are great. Yeah. Apples in Spain are terrible.
Good apples. Yeah.
Spain does bad apples.
Galicia has good apples.
And they're not getting to our fruit shop. Yeah. I was just looking at Yoly and I was thinking, is this the first live wine tasting while the woman is breastfeeding?
Probably.
Have we got a world first here? Okay. I'm gonna get to work. Yeah, it's peach, but also you get like other stone fruits. There's like apricot in there. It's really, really nice, this wine. It's juicy, but there's a slight kind of creaminess as well, like a yogurty quality. And I'll tell you why in a sec. Let me take a sip.
Is that the lees thing? No.
Ooh. Wow. So, the problem. A lot of Albarinos are like, okay, boom, 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 you're drinking it, it's easy. A lot of kind of like lesser quality Albarinos. They're fun, they're easy. This one's still crisp, you do the acid test. If you drink wine, you go like that. And you can feel your mouth watering. That shows the acidity in the wine. It's crisp. It's like biting into a great apple, a great New Zealand apple. It's got that crispness in the mouth. It's got the peach on the nose, but the crispness, like green kind of apple. But when this wine is made, when the yeast dies, they leave the yeast. This is called a wine that's kind of made on the lees. You leave the dead yeast cells at the bottom, and you sometimes stir the wine around in the barrel. And effectively, what this does, or in the stainless steel container, and this gives a slightly kind of creamier, richer, fuller body quality to the wine. And this is what I really like about this Albarino, and why I wanted to include it, because I know a lot of you guys have had Albarino.
No,
you like it.
light or.
Yeah, or just kind of, in picking these wines, I'm trying to say, like, okay, you've had a lot of cava. Let's get a cava that's got some aging on it and is using champagne grapes, more in that style. Yeah. You've had a lot of vermouth. Let's get a vermouth that's got some age on it, and so it's a little bit unique. And so this one is like, you've had Albarino, and now this is going to be something a little different.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I could just... Sorry, I'm going to head off and, I'll leave you with Yoly and Lucia.
I'm going partying now.
Alan says, hard luck with the rugby. Yeah, I know. I heard about that.
Oh, what happened?
The Irish beat the All Blacks.
Oh.
Have you ever tried Feijoa wine? I have. I didn't really like it. I think Simon is now saying people are being generous about the live stream now after... Okay, catching up. Question. Why are your wines covered corked? Is there no need to air Spanish wines? You mean like these?
I think so.
So when it comes to airing your wine, you don't need to you don't need a wine to open up and breathe just because. So, this Albarino,
only special ones, right?
Yeah,
only certain ones.
Wines that have more age on them are going to open up with a little bit of time, right? But if you're drinking everyday wine, and some of these actually do have age on them, so you need it. But if you're drinking everyday wine, even like a white like this is on the lees, it's not really going to change much. You don't want to air this Albarino. It's built to be drunk out of the bottle. The Rioja that we're going to get into soon, that is going to. You might want to leave that a little time to open up, and also this red. But
sometimes it's even enough to just pour it in the glass and let it breathe, right? Like,
yeah,
you don't need to do the whole decanting thing.
No, I don't decant wine anymore. I mean, you have to be dealing with a serious wine to bother decanting it. Call me crazy. Here's the other thing. That is never going to air the wine. There's just not enough air that can get out. This does nothing, right? Now, okay. Yeah, if you leave it all 3 days, some oxygen, and the wine is going to go off.
Exactly.
But if you say, we're going to drink wine in an hour, and you leave the wine in that, this is doing nothing. This is doing nothing. There's not enough oxygen that's getting in to hit, and there's not enough surface area of the wine available. That's why you see the decanters have massive surface area. So more surface area of the wine is in contact with the air to oxygenize.
Very good.
That's not a word.
It worked for me.
Yeah, okay. To oxygenate the wine. So why I'm doing that also, because these wines, I opened them up yesterday and they're fine. This is going to evolve a little bit, but it doesn't need to be decanted. Just let it sit in your glass for a little bit. If you decant it, that's fine. But then if you're not going to finish the bottle, it's a pain. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, James, try Nui Pratt. Okay, yeah, I got it wrong. If you haven't eaten Canadian apples, you haven't etten a great apple. I want to eat a Canadian apple now. Sir Lee, on the lees. The peaches in Spain are on a different level, says Julia. So Maribel, thank you, Amy, for that little super chat. Thank you for that. Have you had Icelandic wines? No. Jeff says, would you ever have a YouTube meetup in Madrid? That would be great. We used to do some of those.
Well, we did, a couple? We did a couple.
We did.
Yeah.
I am thinking of doing a meetup once we run our Move to Spain masterclass enough times with people who have moved to Spain. And, general YouTube meetup. Yeah, that'd be fun at some point, when this pandemic is over. Who doesn't finish a bottle of wine? Good call. 500 people watching. Booyah. $4.94 I see here. Again, if you want to... if you wanna pick up the
Cheers,
wines, reminding people. I got told off last time because somebody said to me, I didn't know I could buy the wine, and so they were like, you should have mentioned it more.
Oh,
and so
okay.
I'm trying to mention it.
Yeah, we have an
you wanna-
alarm every minute.
Yeah, going off. If you want, I got it under my cushion. If you want to buy the wines, there's a link at the top, and you can buy the wines. There's a pinned link. Let me know if you're confused. Okay, we're moving along. Wow, this is good.
I'm so jealous. I was jealous. Yeah, for some reason I'm very jealous at the Vermouth and also this.
Yeah.
I would love to have a
Okay.
sip of
I'm
that.
just checking my notes. Sorry, will you say something?
Don't worry.
You're allowed it. You're allowed to sniff it. Well, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
do whatever you want. It's your decision.
Exactly.
You can do whatever you want, baby. So, okay, I didn't have anything else to mention there.
No.
Okay.
You didn't forget any of the flavors.
Yeah. Lingering peach. I wrote that though. Creamy, pear, apple. I wrote all of that. So here are my notes. Taste. This is my notes. This is not from Sting. Nose. Apple, pear, stone fruit, refreshing. Taste. Fruit forward. Acidity. Lingering peach. Body from being on the lees. Creamy, pear, apple, yummy.
I love yummy.
Yummy.
And how about fruit forward? What does that mean? Fruit forward.
You get the fruit straight off, you know?
Okay,
It's not like it's not like wood
I
or something like that. The fruit, but it has that complexity.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving along.
Yeah.
How we
Don't
doing?
forget to embinar.
Yeah, no, I won't. I'm going to put some water in. I feel like we need to
Yes.
we're getting some
Clear it a little bit.
Lucia is a champion.
I know, girl. She's sleeping now. FYO. FYI. No FYO.
I like FYO.
See, no?
For your what would
For
FYO be?
your ownership.
For your
own
eyes
benefit.
only? For your own benefit?
Oh, darling.
All right.
But I mean, I remember being a very young child and loving my parents speaking next to me.
Yeah.
And people just speaking and, just falling asleep to that.
I thought you were going to say that you loved being a young child and your parents live streaming, and you loved it. It's great.
Not quite.
Okay, getting to the next wine. We're
Next
hitting the
one.
reds now. We're staying in
Whoopee.
Galicia though, people. Heads up, and we're going to have
Big
a little,
fans of
and we're going to have a
Galicia.
little bit of history here as well.
Yeah.
What do you
Love that.
remember from Galicia? Talk us through Galicia. We were there a year ago. How was it?
Well, we loved it. I remember wonderful forests. I remember the coast, of course, when we went to Cambados, cocaine land, and Rias Paisas.
We didn't have cocaine.
We didn't have cocaine. Let's
Yeah.
make that clear. And I mean, the forest, the beautiful winery that we visited. Actually, how could I forget that? We went to Algueira, right? Algueira winery, and that was just wonderful. They have this kind of way of making wine, which is the viticultura heroica, right? Which is the wineries, the fields, they're built like terraced, right?
Yeah.
And so it's very, very hard to introduce the machines there to
Impossible to
harvest.
put machines almost,
Impossible. So they call it heroica because they're like, in very hard conditions, harvesting. And so I remember, visiting Algueira, having wonderful wine, wonderful food there. I recommend actually visiting the winery and having a blast there.
It was great.
Right?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Be nice to go back.
Yeah.
At some point to Galicia, get up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lucia will love it. Lucia will love the wine there.
She is a big wine drinker, So I'm just catching up. There's a couple of things. Mike, hey Mike, good to see you.
Hello.
Welcome. Mike's a member. Maribel's a member. It's great to see the members here. Thank you for your
Yeah.
support, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. So Anthony says, my wife and I love Spanish wine, and Vinoteca Vides is our place we went to in Madrid. So that was a place, and I mentioned.
The video.
The video.
You
It was
know,
in the
the
video.
video.
Great wine. Amelia, wonderful. Amelia, you are the most productive commenter, and I appreciate all your comments that you make on the videos. So thank you. She says, some of us came in late, but I also watch it again after you're finished. I enjoy your videos. Lucia is lovely. My grandma is named Lucia on my maternal side.
Ole, verdad.
And somebody asked, how do you spell Lucia? Well, there you have it.
There
right
you have
there.
it.
With an accent
With an
over the
accent
I.
on the I, yeah.
Wine nerd here as well. Welcome, wine nerd Terry. Jimmy just ordered the wines. Good for you,
Bim
man. I'm
bam.
excited. Looking forward to it for
Enjoy
Christmas.
them.
Okay, what sherries would you recommend? Wow, that's a whole nother live stream. But
Right.
Amontillado
Okay.
is my bag.
For me, it's Oloroso. That's the type. Beautiful.
What is your favorite in this tasting that you're selling? Jose asks. Ooh, that's hard. And I don't mean to like dodge the question because it's like, do you feel like a white now? Do you feel like a red? I'm excited to share. I don't know. I actually don't know.
Ooh.
I'm excited to talk about this because I'm excited to talk about Mencía.
Yeah. Mencía is an unknown grape, right?
I mean, more known, but not like Tempranillo.
No.
Maria has asked if we've made a video going for tapas in Seville. Actually, a couple of them. They're on the channel. There's a playlist.
Have a look. Click on the search in the channel, right? And just type Seville.
Yeah.
And,
Spain revealed Seville.
Yeah.
Lisa, thank you for that super chat. Appreciate it. Cheers to you.
Thank you.
So Simon said, red wine's chilled or room temperature? Okay, I love this question.
Ole.
My wife, Anna from Zaragoza, insists red wine should be chilled in a fridge for a period of time. So now we chill it. Okay. For you and Anna, Simon, here's the final word. This is something I'm confident about because a million Devourateurs I've had this question, and I love this question because it feels like it's this. The answer is so simple, and yet there is so much kind of misunderstanding
Confusion.
out there.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Wine, each type of wine has its ideal drinking temperature. Let's forget aging and all that sort of stuff, like, you know, because most of the wine we buy in the supermarket, 99% of the wine we're buying is not meant to be aged, right? Yeah. It's meant to be drunk the minute you open it, the minute you buy it. So each wine has its ideal temperature. So a white wine will be, I mean, I actually don't know right off the top of my head. It would be like maybe
13?
No, I would say a little less, like, you know, fridge temperature. A little warmer than fridge temperature, right? Okay. However you want it. But the more cold the white wine is. So for this one, I took it out a little earlier, the white wine, because if you take an apple out of the fridge, you take a bite and it's cold, you will not taste all of the apple.
Nothing. Yeah.
So if you want to taste more of that white wine, you want it to be a little warmer than fridge temperature. But maybe you don't want that. Maybe it's a hot day and the wine's not that interesting anyway. You just want something cold.
Yeah.
As it gets warmer,
so you can have that or a Coke.
Yeah, and you should have that cold. But same thing, as the white wine gets warmer, it starts to just not be enjoyable to drink. So you kind of want it chilled, right? But if it's really cold, you're not going to taste all the different flavors or the aromas. You notice how when we had the vermouth, Yoly actually struggled a little bit to find some of the aromas. That's because it's cold.
It was cold.
If you're tasting wine rather than just like drinking it, sometimes you often want it a little bit warmer than it should be drunk because it will bring out more stuff.
Yeah.
Red wine. Okay, so red wine should really be drunk, and I don't have the kind of the degrees in my head because it doesn't really matter because we're not measuring degrees here. I think it was about sort of 13, 14 degrees Celsius. Red wine should be drunk at cellar temperature, CELLAR, literally.
Which is not room temperature.
Which is not room temperature. So they say red wine should be drunk at room temperature. It should not be drunk at room temperature unless you are sitting in a cellar. And cellar temperature underground, if you've ever been to a winery, underground, like in Spain, it's like, 12 degrees or 13 degrees or something. That is what you should be drinking red wine. There's a little bit of variety depending on the wine. That's the one. Now, your fridge is colder than that. Your fridge is like, what's a fridge, guys? I feel like someone knows more than it's like 8 degrees or something like that. So this wine, I kept in the fridge and I pulled it out. But it's too cold to drink. If I drink it like that, I'm not going to get the different flavors. I need to be drinking it at that 13 degrees. So if I'm in Spain in summer and it's 25 degrees, that is too hot. And if the wine's at that temperature, even though that's the temperature of the room, it's going to lose, it's going to become kind of flabby and not be very enjoyable to drink. It's not going to be tight. If it's too cold, I'm not going to taste the flavors. So you want to be at about 13 degrees. Here's the thing though. Remember I talked earlier on that if you buy a wine, and you open it, you don't want it to go off. So the best way to stop that wine from kind of going off, a red wine, is to buy it, get one of these wine pumps, pump air out, and store it in the fridge. That's to store it because it will slow down the oxidation process by keeping the wine cold. But that's too cold to drink. So here's how I drink wine. So imagine I was going to drink this wine. Imagine Yoly was drinking and we're going to have 2 glasses each. So there's 6 glasses in a bottle of wine. We're going to have it over 3 nights. All right. Got the wine. I have a wine fridge, which is about 13 degrees. So I could just pull it out and it's ready to go. But if I didn't have that, especially if it was warm here and if it wasn't winter, or, we got the heating, it's on 22 degrees Celsius, I will keep that wine before I open it in the fridge, right? But I'm not going to drink it at that temperature. That's just the way that I can, I'm going to take it out of the fridge when I want to have a glass. And maybe I know in about an hour I'm going to have a glass. I will pour 2 glasses and let it warm up and I'll put it back in the fridge. So, because you can always warm a wine up, you can never cool it down. So if your wine is too warm to start with, you can never cool it down. You're not going to add white ice to your wine or put your wine glass in the fridge. So starting cool and let it warm up. And if you need to warm it up in half an hour, you put your hand under it like that. And you just your skin will warm it up. So I take it out, I pour a couple of glasses of wine. You know, sometimes if I go for a jog and I'm going to have wine a little bit later, I will pour a glass of wine. I know I'm going to have it when I get back, right? And then I will put the top in, put it back, pump the air out, put it back in the fridge. Again, I'm not going to be drinking it at fridge temperature, but that is the way that it's not going to go off. And I'm going to let the wine warm up a little in my glass. I'm going to have my glass and I'm good. If friends were coming over for dinner and I know I'm going to drink the whole wine, I'm not just going to have it sitting here at 21 degrees in the apartment. That's too warm. I'm going to have it sitting in the fridge, and about an hour before they get here, I'm going to take it out of the fridge and let it come up to temperature, right? And if I know we're going to be drinking slowly, I might even, you know, if I'm noticing it's warming up a little bit, I might actually just put it back in the fridge for 10 minutes just to bring it down a little bit, to be in that zone. So that was a very anal explanation for you.
You're still going on about it.
Somebody asked. Simon, how was that?
No, very good.
Take a sip. Yes. Okay, sorry. Yeah, thank you. Please.
Get on track.
Yeah, for God's sakes. British room temperature, cellar room temperature. That's the thing. Yeah, it depends on your room temperature.
Yeah.
Stephen, just purchased the wines. Awesome.
Yay.
I hope you enjoy them, Stephen, with your holiday meals. 3 to 4 weeks for shipping to the US. Again, if you want to get them for the holidays, you got to buy within the next 24 hours because the boat is leaving. All right. Now we are going, as Yoly said, to Ribeira Sacra. Ribeira Sacra. This is a region that if you looked at the Rias Baixas, where we were with the white wine, we are going inland now. We're following up the Minho River and to the Sil and the Minho Rivers, two very famous rivers in Galicia. This is a fantastic wine region. And why am I including this wine? Because we went there and, as you know, Yoly was talking about, the wines are on these 85-degree slopes over the river. It's like Mosul. It's like Germany, and it's so incredible.
Beautiful, beautiful landscapes too.
Okay, just holding that up. Let me change the other screen where I can see the real time to see if it's looking at Yoly and it's looking at me. See, the thing is, the camera is so, here we go.
There. No, a little
We've
bit.
got to hide our faces. There we go.
Yeah. Ay.
The camera tracks our faces. Ribeira Sacra, Guimaro. So, a little bit of history while Yoly smells the wine. Fridge 4 degrees, Mike said. Thank you, Mike. Mike always comes out with the right thing. So you do not be drinking your red wine at 4 degrees or your white wine, to be honest. Sorry, but is your daughter's name spelled Lucia because it sounds like Lucia? That's because that's how we pronounce the C in Spain. It's yeah. It's like cerveza.
Cerveza.
Okay.
In parts of Spain, we should say. What do I get? I get kind of wet soil a little bit. Not the first thing that I get, but some of that.
Ooh, you know what?
It's yummy.
Can I just say, because I just got a real big hit.
What is it?
I get tobacco.
Ole. Oh, yeah. Cigar. Like puro.
You see, Yoly's like, to be legit, she's got to like add something, you know, to be like, make it like you weren't just being like, oh, yes, of course, you know. You added a little layer of complexity there.
Exactly. So that, you know, it sounds, it rings true. I can see, Lucia.
So Raymond asked, are you going to do more paradores videos? I actually got in touch with the guy the other day to say we want to do more. Haven't heard back yet. If you want more paradores videos, send an email to, I don't know what their email is, but send them an email.
Send them an email.
Send the marketing department an email.
All of you guys, please.
Leather, red fruit.
Oh, leather. Okay. Yeah, I get that.
Ooh, smokiness. It's like slate soil. So, okay. Let me have a sip and then I'll give you a little history. Ooh.
Ah, so beautiful. It's fresh too, yeah.
Yeah. So, why do I want to include this wine? Because we're in that region, and also want to show you that Spanish wines are not all big, bushy, you know, oak aged, serious Riojas. The northwestern Spain is making red wines that are delicious. This is acidity, it's lighter, you know, the perfect wine when you're having your appetizers. It's something a little lighter. It's not your main big meal yet. It's Mencía, which is actually a very popular name in Spain for girls.
For girls. Actually, for a fraction of a second, I thought of a name for Lucia. Yeah, Mencía. But then I was like, that's a bit much.
Why?
I don't know. It's just, we're going to come across as, you know.
Alcoholics?
mistakes. You know, a bit much.
Who would think that? Like we're doing this live wine tasting.
You know, that'd be crazy.
So Mencía is another wine that often people order in Spain by the grape and not the region.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mencía, yeah, I would say so.
Bit of both.
Yeah, I mean, Albariño much more.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mencía, I mean, but if someone orders a Mencía next to you, you're like, like this person knows a little bit more than your average Spaniard.
Than your average Joe or Jose.
Exactly.
Not Jose who's
Not
watching.
Jose specifically.
A generic Jose.
A generic Jose. But yeah, you know, average Spaniards don't know a lot about wine, as you can learn from the video that you published.
Did you mention the video? Sorry, keep talking about the video. I'm looking at the comments.
So yeah, Mencía would be, you know, it's kind of special, but I guess it's also a better known grape in the Northwest, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I think that half my friends, I tell them like, Mencía, what is that? And they don't know. They'll probably like, is that a girl's name? You know? Yeah.
No, it is as well. Yeah. So somebody just asked, so hang on. What did they ask? It was a really good question. Is Galicia, effectively the question was, is Galicia too cold to make red wine? So this is kind of like the northern limit. As I say, there's red wines from Rías Baixas. We had some in Cambados. There's this great little wine shop that we go to in the video that we made there. I've struggled a bit with Rías Baixas red wines. I've had a few, and I think you have to spend quite a bit of money to get, because it can be, because it's pretty cool up there and it's on the limit. But what you have here, when you look, and again, watch this video we made about this region at Ribeira Sacra, where we stayed at one of the paradores. The fact that that it's on this inclination, this 85 degree, what that means is that it makes it perfect for getting sun reflected off the river below up into the vines. So you get this sun that's coming down, but also sun coming up reflected off the river. This is something in Mosel, Germany.
Kind of warming them up nicely.
Yeah.
They have like a bit of a microclimate, right?
And it's a microclimate. Yeah. It's warm. So you need to be specific of where you're doing. It's not like just like hot and perfect. And you can like Rioja, which is not hot and, you know, per se. I mean, it's hot, but it's further south. It's still quite north. But it's still, you have to be very specific about where you're doing it. So what I thought was interesting about this Guimaro, this wine, and why I wanted to include it, is that when I have a bit of fabada coming out. I'm sorry, that's so disgusting. Oh my god! I literally had to like stop for a sec, and I was I have to explain it.
Like pause for thought.
Yeah, fabada. Fabadas are rough. Don't eat a fabada next time you're going to do a live wine tasting.
You're doing okay though, right?
Yeah.
You're not getting
Ever tasted Alto Moncayo? I haven't tried that wine, I'm afraid. Have you been to Haro? Yes, we talked. Or Haro. We talked at. I was speaking English there. Haro.
Oh, yeah,
Haro.
Okay.
Haro. Yeah, we mentioned at the beginning. Fantastic place to taste wine. Okay. What are you drinking? Is it good? I love that question. Yes, we're drinking this. I held it up earlier.
We're drinking Guimaro.
Yeah. Okay. Holding it up again.
What is it there?
Hide behind the bottle. There we go. Guimaro. So, again, these slopes, the Romans started making wine 2,000-ish years ago in Ribeira Sacra. They also were mining in this region for minerals, but they started making wine there. They brought, because in the end, the Romans, as they extended the empire, you started making wine because the troops want to drink wine, right? Mm-hmm. And
it was their water, pretty much. Right?
Yeah, and you don't want to ship it from Rome.
Yeah.
So they started making it. And then what's really interesting is that monks moved into this area. The actual Parador we stayed in was an old monastery from, I think, the 12th, 13th century. And so they continued making wines in this very isolated part of Spain. The monks went there to these hills in Ribeira Sacra, which means the sacred shore, literally to get away from it all. And it still feels like that. Like to drive 3 kilometers twisting around takes like 45 minutes.
So beautiful.
And so what's interesting though is this winery, Guimaro. So this is a young guy who has been, it's only about 3 generations. He's the 4th generation making wine. And his family previously were making wine, but on the same slopes, but they were making really basic bulk wine that they were just selling to local taverns, right? This is until the 1990s. And if you go to the Ribera Sacra, and that became a wine region in the 90s, an official DO wine region, older than that, they were making wine, but they were making just everyday kind of low quality, right? Or average quality wine. And this, again, go back to the video I keep referencing, was talking about how the history of a lot of Spanish wine is just like people just making whatever wine locally just to, drink with their food, not really paying attention to quality. It wasn't what their focus was. So, but particularly in the 80s and 90s, this winery, the young guy Pedro, and now this wine is super famous. I was talking to somebody who was saying that they see this wine around the world.
Right.
This guy's become really, really famous making these Ribera Sacra wines from Mencía and other grapes. And so really he decided to up the quality. So his parents were just making simple stuff. And in the 2000s, he was like, 1990s, 2000s, he's like, we need to up the quality. And this is what's happening in this Ribera Sacra region. But this is why a lot of people in Spain don't know about Ribera Sacra, because the tradition is that wasn't even a place where good wine was made. And so the fact that it's only become a wine region of note in the last sort of 15, 20 years or so, well, people aren't keeping up with that stuff, they're just drinking whatever.
Yeah,
right?
whatever wine comes, and they're drinking Rioja, pretty much.
And because you mentioned the viticultura heroica, like the heroic, winemaking, makes this a more expensive wine. And so
they can't have like a massive production, right? I mean,
very low production. And so you have to, and so sometimes it's going to be popular outside of Spain, but people within Spain will be like, why am I going to spend this money on this wine from a region I've never heard of? Right? So there you go. It's, here we go. If you buy a wine that has a screw top, does that mean it's not good? I love these questions, Jose. No, that does not mean at all. Screw tops are actually better for white wines if the wine doesn't need to age. If the wine does not need to age, because with a cork, wherever there's a cork, little bits of oxygen can get through the cork. So if you have a wine that, say, ages for 20 years, even in the cellar with the cork, there's a little bit of oxygen getting in there, which is helping it evolve. As I say, 99.9% of the wines that people are buying are not to be aged, they're to be drunk straight away. A screw top is better, actually, than a cork.
Including like red wines, right?
Yeah. Red wines, white wines.
Yeah.
If it's not meant to be aged, a screw top is better. It's a better seal than a cork. So why do we still use corks? Tradition. People, it's part of the romance of wine. That's why you'll find in New World countries like in New Zealand where there's less wine tradition, people are more open to change. But if you said to, maybe your father, like a screw top, it would look like it was worse quality.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they will think that, but not necessarily, not anymore. Not ever, really.
Yeah. Okay. Catching up. Are you doing more live tapas tours? Would love to do more live tapas tours. None planned right now, but would love to do more. Okay. Why no cheese and fresh bread to go with these delicious wines? I feel like we did that last time, and it was just like, I don't think we ate it because it was juggling a lot already.
Yeah.
Okay, so
too confusing.
Ribera Sacra, Guimaro. You got to get into these wines. I included this in there because I want you guys to discover the wines from, whether it's through this pack that you buy or just when you're out and about, look up Ribera Sacra. If you click the link, you can see the wines that we're drinking, so you can see the name of the regions, things like that. I want you to get into northwestern red wines. I want you to start to discover more of Spain because there's so much more than just Rioja, Ribera, Rueda. Well, those three. The three
so
R's.
So much more, yeah.
Okay, one more sip.
You got into it, huh?
It's really good. Yeah. It's really good. I love it. And it takes me back. That was an excellent explanation. Thank you, Jose. Thank you. When are you doing your cooking videos? Not right now. You know what? With the ability to be able to kind of travel a little bit more now and get out and about, I'm kind of getting more into like actually making videos.
Excited about traveling a little bit more and jumping in the car and getting somewhere.
And our cooking videos aren't as popular.
No, never been.
They're very niche.
Funny that. You're such a chef.
You know why it is? Well, I don't know why it is. But one of the reasons is a cooking channel, the videos are like 6 minutes long. Our cooking videos always end up being like the tortilla one's 20 minutes. Nobody who's like, I want to make a tortilla. Let me check what videos are on YouTube. It's 20 minutes, right? It's entertainment. It's not like...
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to do a little catch up before we hit it.
Uy, ¿qué hipo tienes tú, bebé?
I hope you're still sober at the end of the video. You do see that I am pouring some wine out, but I find just a little bit of wine just kind of loosens me up.
I guess get your tongue going.
Yeah, interesting. Terry says, like Grange, super expensive Australian wine, and Chateau Margaux, Bordeaux both concluded that screw top are better for aging wines, as tasting showed people prefer screw top results. That's interesting. Yeah. And one of the things I actually love about, I realize, these wine tastings is trying this, but really kind of the educational element. And I'm not a wine I mean,
You know your stuff.
I know a little bit my stuff,
Yeah.
but I love educating people on the real simple stuff because there's so much mythology. Like, I've got to keep it at room temperature, and it's like 33 degrees Celsius. It's hot, and it's like, no, but it's room temperature. It's like, yeah, it depends on the room.
Yeah.
Or the screw top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God, James and Yoly, I have this wine in my cellar. Love it. Oh, which one's that, Carol? In Europe, we drank beer, wine, etc. as alcohol sterilized the water. Totally. Come on, guys. I don't know what that means.
Move along.
Yeah,
maybe.
move along. Keep drinking. Your knife skills were worth it. I love these cooking videos. Okay. I mean, I feel like the super fans like cooking videos. You want to hear what it tastes like? Here's like, I mean, you're not going to hear it because there's not too much oxygen in there. But with these things, you pump the oxygen out and then you push this to release it.
And again, like the naan.
Like the naan, same naan. Okay.
Let's envinar. Yeah.
I think I love this wine. Like, I tried this wine first some time ago, and when it just hit my nose, wow, this is a Rioja. I mean, guys, I'm going to give you a Rioja, right? I'm not going to be cruel here.
Yeah, we're not going to be more papistas que el papa.
Eso. How do we say that in English? Más papista que el papa. Holier than thou.
Holier than thou? Yeah. Okay.
We're not going to be holier than thou.
Yeah.
So.
Can you clean the rim a little bit?
Okay. Remember, if you want to buy these wines, we're shipping to the US, UK, Europe, Spain. Click the link. Particularly for the US, and you want to have them for the holidays, you got to order in the next 24 hours. Otherwise, you're dead to me.
He's getting drunk.
No, I'm generally like this. I wake up in the morning and I'm just like,
Fun.
Yeah. I have started going. Did I mention the personal trainer?
Yes.
I started working with a personal trainer. I think I mentioned that. And
Jesus, his name is.
I think I covered that because I remember saying that he's my Messiah. I used that gag.
Messiah.
I've been working on my personal trainer material for the last week. But I go at 7 a.m. guys. I get up at 6:30 in the morning.
That's unheard of in Spain.
Yeah, nobody's there.
No, the streets are not laid out.
Yeah, exactly. It's just. Can you guys give us some advice on Andalusian wine? Okay, Nitros. I'm so glad you asked that. Obviously, sherry is the famous wine from Andalusia, but I'm not going to mention any specific regions because there's a lot, and it's not an area that I know that much about. But if you go to a good wine store and you talk about red wines from Andalusia, there are some amazing red wines being made. Sierras de Malaga, I think it is, like in the Malaga region, some really interesting red wines. In Granada, some really interesting red wines. So obviously it's a region that's known for often sometimes sweet whites or simple whites. There's great red wines being made in Cádiz, but you have to go to a place that is, legit. We were in Cádiz, sitting in the main square, and, it was a pretty simple place, and I wasn't trying to be pretentious and ordering like a red wine, but I said, do you have, what local wines have you got? And he was like...
Rioja, he said.
He said Rioja. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, within the region
Spain,
of Spain.
Yes.
What wines from the earth do you have? I would like an earthling wine. And yeah, like local, but I said to a waiter in Cádiz, what local wines have you got? Because I thought they might have something, right? Even if it was just like a simple white or something like that. And the question just blew his mind. He thought I was nuts. And he said Rioja. But if, in a more kind of knowledgeable place, like there is great red wines being made in Cádiz. Like, but you have to go to a good place because most people don't know about them.
Yeah.
I think you two are the best. The Travel Channel needs to make an offer. That would be great. I would love an offer from the channel. The Travel Channel. How is Madrid in January? Planning a visit. Great. Cold, but dry. But nice. Planning to do my WSE2. Awesome.
Ooh.
That is a great... Ribeira Sacra. Carol, you have the Guimaro. Good to hear. Okay. Look, let's... What a story,
smell.
man.
Yeah, we haven't.
Yeah, we haven't smelled.
Okay.
And after this, we have one more. We have the surprise wine. That's not a wine. Okay, I'm just watching while you smell. Babies are the best human.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
I agree.
Terry says, what a story, man. That's funny. I have no idea what story I just told. But
about the Rioja, I guess. The
what was
local wine.
Yeah. I'm working on several planes
levels
here.
Yeah, no, totally.
someone just mentioned something that I wanted to call out. Wines from Ronda. Yes. Wines from Ronda are great. There's some great red wines from Ronda.
Yeah.
Say that 20 times. Okay.
Oh, beautiful. Again, not your typical Rioja, right? I'm getting here.
No.
No.
Okay, I'm going.
Oh, so delicious.
Yeah, right.
I just can't wait to drink wine again.
Yeah, I'm getting Yoly back on the... Okay, while Yoly's sipping, I'm going to hold this
Dreaming
up.
of drinking.
We're up to 5 out of 6. Okay, hide.
We need to hide.
Hide the child.
There, in focus.
Okay, look at that label. Look at that label. Second oldest winery in Rioja from these. Marqués de Arcifa. Is there an accent? Arcifa. Yeah, it's not Z. Arbiza. I'm Bizco.
Your Bizco, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm Bizco means cross-eyed, but I am dyslexic. Arbiza, Marqués de Arbiza.
Ay, nena.
I always struggle with the name of this wine for some reason. So why did I include this? Because I want to break assumptions around Rioja. So we're going to include a Rioja, but I want to break assumptions around it. So a lot of people think of... So what did you say? You thought it wasn't a typical one.
Yeah, well, I'm getting like really light and like, spicy. Light and spicy at the same time. Not so much wood, right? Like not so much oak.
Light and spicy. Licey.
Is
that a thing?
Yeah, so I'm getting all of that, which is not what I expect.
I'm glad you mentioned that and I didn't prep Yoly.
No.
Totally, because this is a Rioja that is more fruit forward.
Right.
This is a Rioja that's juicier, that's not like this big oak bomb that, more and more Riojas and more people, generally the trend that's happening with wine is lighter. That's why the wines from Ribera Sacra are getting more popular. I'll just move the microphone away from Lucia. And so they're becoming more about the fruit and effectively tasting what's in the vineyard than all the barrel aging. Can we just back up the truck a second and talk about the barrel thing? Because this is an interesting little historical tidbit that I loved when I learned it about 5 years ago. So why do we use barrels, right, to age wine? Why, when you go to a winery, all these barrels? So it's so simple, right? So, and then when you think about, like, you're watching Gladiator, great film. You're watching Gladiator and they're all, in the wine, if there is any images of wine being transported, it's an amphora, right? You've gone to the museum and you see the clay, whatever they're made of, clay, amphora, that are like that come down to a point, right? So you're like, how do we get from amphora to barrels? Because obviously, were they using barrels in ancient Rome? So here's what happened. Back in the day, 2,000 years ago, wine was stored and transported in amphora. And if you look at an amphora, it comes down to a peak and it has a stem like that, because the big challenge with wine until pretty much the last century was oxidation, was wine going bad. Most wine used to taste sour and it was bad because the minute they made it, they would get it to market as fast as they could. Bordeaux was shipping their wines as quickly in the 17th, 18th century, as quick as they could to England, because literally within 2 weeks, it's starting to go bad. It was starting to go sour.
Sounds great.
Yeah, lovely. Because they couldn't properly keep the wine fresh, right? So amphora, you notice, have the little stem cap, the little kind of narrow neck on them. That is, again, the same way I think somebody did ask, am I airing my wine if it's like that? No, you're not, because the oxygen can't get through here. So you'd have an amphora, it goes like that, and they would stick like beeswax in, they would stick like a cloth in there to try and seal it. And then it goes down to the peak at the bottom, because then it's great to bury it up to its neck and keep it in the earth and keep it cool. Remember, you got to keep the wine cool, right? You got to keep the wine cool. If it gets hot, it will go off, the wine. And also when you're traveling, so when you could put it in the earth and that would keep it cool. That's why they're shaped like that. And also they went to the point at the bottom, because that was where a lot of the sediment would store, right? And not be in contact with the wine. So, pretty great idea. But amphora are kind of a nightmare to move around. Yeah. Like if that ship rolls, they break.
Cracks, very easily, I would guess.
Exactly.
So, and to store like one on top of another,
not
like
ideal.
A very irregular shape, I guess.
Yeah, and sort of you're a lot of wasted room down there.
Yeah.
So Julius Caesar invades Gaul, and modern day what is now France, and notices that the Gauls, who are now the French, transport their beer in barrels, like literally, wooden slabs, coopered barrels with the metal ring around it, what we know as wine barrels today.
So smart, the French.
Well, actually,
Gauls,
it was the Celts who started it. The
Ah,
Gauls
there you
copied
go.
the Celts,
Eh.
and then they were like, "Well, this could work," and so they started storing the wine in barrels, much better than the amphora, because the barrels don't break easily. You can roll the barrel,
Uh-huh.
right?
Storage.
Storage, great. And obviously, what they noticed is like, the wine was also, this wasn't a big deal at the time, but they noticed the wine was getting some flavor from the oak barrels, and so
You wouldn't get any flavor from the
from the
amphoras, right?
Not really, I guess. I mean, more kind of bad flavor just from the oxidation.
Clay,
Clay,
lovely
yeah.
taste of clay.
Love it. So really, that's how we moved to barrels, and we still stay with oak barrels now. But just in the last, 50 years ago, you went and there's still a lot of Spanish wine like this, and a lot of wine around the world where it was big, like Rioja was big oak bombs, right? Because Rioja became a big deal, and Spanish wine, and why Rioja is a big deal today is in the mid-19th century, there was a bug called phylloxera. It's still around. It's from the US, was brought by excitable botanists to Europe, and it just destroyed all the grapevines across Europe.
Worse than coronavirus, I tell you
Worse,
what.
yeah. Didn't do anything to people, but if you're a grape, it was worse than coronavirus. And so what they did is, the French were desperate, and so one of the things they did to keep the market going is they came to Spain because phylloxera had destroyed the vines in France, hadn't got to Spain yet. It needed to travel through connections, and obviously there wasn't a lot of travel back then. The Pyrenees block us off. Came to Rioja, which they felt was the closest environment where they could make French-style wine, and the French started buying up land in Rioja, or buying up space in Rioja, in Ado, that place we mentioned, buying wines from Spanish grape growers and making wine in the French style with barrel aging in Rioja, and then putting on the train and getting it back to France. And this was early 20th century.
Is there any remains of that? Like, is there French people around, or are
I'm
they
sure
all
there's
gone?
I'm sure there's family members that have that in there,
Yeah.
that are part Spanish, part French,
Yeah,
and somebody
yeah.
married into
Yeah,
in the same way I
surnames
married
or-
into Spain.
There you go, there you go.
Yeah, there'll be a surname. Someone they always look wealthy when one surname is Spanish and one surname is French. But I would say there's that as well.
Yeah.
And so effectively, that's why Rioja, it was just the first Spanish wine region to get modernized by this impact from the French. And there was other Spanish winemakers who said, hang on, we're learning what the French are doing, and we're going to start doing it ourselves. And Rioja, hence Martinez La Cuesta, these guys mentioned at the beginning, early 20th century, they're shipping their wines around South America and things like that. Back then in Ribera Sacra, they are not shipping wines. They are not putting wines in barrels and aging it and all this sort of stuff. So not until the 1990s, right? So again, learning a little bit about the history really helps you understand. Actually helps you order better wine because you understand it. This stuff doesn't just come out of nowhere. I'm not making this up, people. Okay.
It sounds like it, but you're not.
Okay. Now, if I go back and it's like, oh my God, just drink the wine already. All I see is Viva España.
Ole.
Okay. Yoly, do you feel that once you begin drinking wine again that you will need to acquire a taste all over again, or do you never lose it?
No, it's all there. I mean, I do need a little bit of a reminder, but no, I think it's all there. I tell you what, I think I'm not gonna waste my time with just whatever cheap wine. When I come back, it's gonna be no, let's just get nice wine all the time.
We're gonna drink the good stuff.
Drinking less, of course, because now we have a child.
Yeah.
But yeah, just going for quality. It's like eating less meat, but really good meat. Same deal.
I'm up for that. Can we start doing that now? I'll start trialing the system. Okay.
By the way, actually, these bottles, because really, James can't go through all of this before it goes off. So we're going to be giving it to the neighbors, right?
Yeah.
So the neighbors have some surprise coming.
Yeah, they don't know. They could probably hear us thinking, what the hell are these guys talking about? So again, we're drinking the Marqués de
Arbiza.
Joder, I can't say the name of this winery. Selección Especial, second oldest winery in Rioja. Fruit forward, massive fruit bomb. And then when you taste it, okay, I'm going in, guys. Wish me luck. It's like silk. So if I had all these wines in one day, well, over the holiday period, I would have, not in one day, I would have my Ribera Sacra with maybe the day before, For us, it'll be Christmas, but like the day before Christmas, I would have it with something. We're gonna have a lighter meal that evening. Maybe some tuna or something like that.
Lucia's listening to you like, oh,
Lucia's like, oh, that's interesting, yeah. and then she's a sweetheart. And then the Rioja I would have on the big day.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
Ooh, it's really good. It's juicy berry, but black fruit. Really, really good. Lucia's doing great. Like, I mean, she's
amazing.
she was
amazing.
crying beforehand.
She was amazing.
Next year, can do a live cider tasting. Wow. Can you hold the wine label towards us? And you'll see these are numbered, these bottles.
Ah, yeah. Every single one of them.
Hide.
There. Is he focusing?
It is. I'm just holding it up so people get a good look. Okay. And this is, I'm just seeing if yeah. Also, there's a guide, which is the Spanish kind of Robert Parker, Guia Peñin, 92 points. And I believe the Ribera Sacra got 91 points. So super high rated wines that I'm very excited to gift to the neighbors because I would go nuts if I drank all of these. Man, this is really, really good. Okay, now I need to go and get the special next, the special coup de grace.
Oh, how lovely.
Let me know if it's coup de grace or coup de grace.
Coup de grace.
You say coup de grace?
Coup de grace. Although, no, hang on, but in French, I think it would be grass.
But I'm speaking English. Is there any way to say that without being pretentious? No?
No.
Full pretentious.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Next party at your place. Do you have any information about the different cava classifications, like with cava de paraje? I don't like.
Oh, that sounds very specific.
But what happened was effectively because a lot of people were saying cava, the brand has been devalued. So you're going to get corpinet. I think it's corpinet, which is a one breakaway. Cava de paraje, which is like cava trying to reclaim its status and say, well, we have one type of wine which is special. It's called cava de paraje.
Corpinet is the way of making it is different? Or?
Corpinet is the same, but it's just like we're saying this is better stuff. Yeah.
I'm getting the liquor.
We will. Yeah. Yoly's getting the liquor. I want to matizar. I am going to keep the vermouth, and I think I'm going to keep the Rioja. So, and maybe I'll keep all of it and just like sip it all along. What strength are these wines? Says Bib. So, 13.5 on this Rioja. The Rias Baixas is probably 13. 13. Yeah, so around there. Modern style, not crazy. Okay.
Here we go.
Right. Liquor.
I don't. No. Licor de Madroño.
Just like this bramble bush of deep, thick, black, juicy berries.
Wow.
Perfect acidity. It's like my mouth is alive, Lucia, with the sound of. All right. Okay. Let me rinse. Okay, let me. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much. What is your favorite cava? Please share. I love this guy. This is my favorite cava right now. This stuff right here that we're drinking. It's champagne-y and it's very yeasty and special occasion.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna go in and before we hit the next one, reminder: if you want to buy these wines, you can buy these wines. Click the link in the pinned comment. If you don't know where the pinned comment is, tell me and I'll pin it again. But also, if you just want to see what the wines are and click on them and learn a little bit more, click that. You can see them there. They're in the order that we're drinking them. Again, you got to buy them in the next 24 hours if in the US to make sure they get there for the holidays. All right. Okay.
Clearing the glasses.
Clearing the glasses. Okay.
Can I have some?
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. Oh, and actually, can you pour some water also? Hang on, here.
Like actual water for drinking?
Yes. Yeah. How about that? That's crazy, huh?
Woo! All right. Just kind of like going through, I feel like I'm going through what's the book? What's the book?
Which one?
The book.
The book. The Bible.
Yeah, that one.
Don Quixote de la
Mancha. Love that book. Yeah. Somewhere between the Bible and Don Quixote. Can't think of it. The one with the Wicked Witch and Aslan.
Dr. Seuss.
No, Aslan. What's the
I
book?
don't know it. I don't know it.
With the wardrobe, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I feel like I'm kind of stepping through these bottles, through the coats, into the, come out in the magical land that's where just wine is just like growing on vines. Crazy. Qué hermosa vuestra hija.
Oh,
Ole.
gracias.
Bramble bush sounds a bit painful. That's true. Yeah. Ignore that bit, Gary. Please notice that many wine needs good accompanying like we humans do. So most take much better when it's drunk with food. Totally agree. Okay. All right. So there is a drink that you need. So here's the thing. So my family were just here, Yoly's family, but my family, our family. And at the end of a meal in Spain, there's something that you need to do to kind of close off the meal. And that is to have like a liqueur, like a licor. And they're, often when you're in a place in Spain, they might have pacharan, which is a liqueur made with sloe berries. That's SLOE. There's also licor de hierbas or orujo, which is orujo is an alcohol that's made from what's left over from the grapes. But there's one particular special one that in Madrid is like the typical one to have in Madrid. And that is called el licor de Madroño. Madroño. So,
although not a lot of Madrileños have had it.
No.
It's not that very, very known, not very well known at all.
Yeah.
El Madroño, which is the fruit that sort of represents Madrid. In a way, right?
Can I do a deep dive on history?
Yeah,
before we hit the liqueur.
Can't wait.
Hang in, guys. Hang in there. So those who have been to Madrid will remember. I put my hands together. I actually had this thing when I was jogging this morning when all the best ideas come, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if we had a 2-camera setup? Maybe this is for next year.
Okay.
So we're filming here, and we've got another camera over here, and I've got like a deck where I can control this, and the camera over here has a virtual background. So I'm talking to you guys, we're drinking the wine, and then when I do the history piece, I turn to my left, it cuts to the other camera, and there's a virtual background which is like I'm sitting in a big leather chair with a fire, and I just do my little history deep dive.
Lucia and I disappear, and you're just there.
You guys
You're just there.
Yeah, sorry.
You're there smoking a cigar.
Yeah, exactly. A virtual cigar. And I do my history deep dive. You're stuck with the deep dive with me right now. So, here we go. Come to Madrid. You've gone to the Puerta del Sol and you see the bear against what's called the strawberry tree in English often. They're not strawberries. The Madroño tree. And you walk down the Calle Mayor, there's trees with red berries, depending on the season, and those are Madroño trees. It's a local bush. It's also grown in other parts of the world. And this is what I find interesting. Like, how did we get this bear and this Madroño tree?
Together.
Well, together, the bears used to eat the Madroños, but how do we get these as the symbols of Madrid?
Yeah.
Well, the Madroño, there's this tree here. It's, it's a local
Quite
tree.
common, yeah.
The bear, how do we get the bear? And I love this. This goes right back. So, in the 11th century, Madrid was founded. Anybody who's ever taken a tapas... Okay, put your hand up if you've ever been on a Tapas Taverns and History tour with Devour Tours where I was guiding it. It would have been pre-2017. But I don't know if anyone's here that's done that. But what happened is in the 11th century, Madrid was actually a military fortress that was in control of, was owned, that was run, whatever. That was I've lost the words. I have lost the power of speech.
You've lost your mind.
That was
That was under.
There was under the Moors, right? Because this was the whole time of effectively what I like to call the Civil War. It's just, what's called the Reconquest of Spain, but it's effectively, Christians versus Moors. It's an 800-year civil war. And so Madrid was under the Moors. It was founded by the Moors as a military outpost to protect Toledo to the south. And so the Christians captured it in 1085. And then what happened is the night before they captured Madrid, so goes the story, they noticed the Ursa Minor. They don't know if it's Ursa Minor or Ursa Major. And I'm not an astronomist. I'm not an astrologist either, to know which one is. They saw Ursa Minor, Ursa Major, the bear, in the sky, and they decided that was the symbol that they needed to attack the next day. So the next day they went and attacked Madrid. They were successful, and they took Madrid. Yeah. And so ever since... Records show since the 13th century, it's the first time we have a record of it, the bear has been the symbol of Madrid.
Because Ors is bear.
Because the constellation, the night before the successful attack to take Madrid as part of the reconquest of Spain. Again, I don't like the word reconquest. But it was, and so I find this fascinating. The bear, right, for 800 years, and the first recorded, standard, the first recorded flag that an army had with the bear on it is in the early 1200s by the Christian army fighting near Jaén against the Moors in the Battle of Navas
de Tolosa.
Navas de Tolosa. Very famous battle, which was a turning point towards where the Christians it was a turning point where the Christians started to take kind of control of the situation.
Taking over, yeah.
And then obviously there's another, 280 years before they retook again. I don't want to, this is like because political,
It's
but I feel
all
like,
very controversial.
but I feel like when you have a place for 800 years, can it be called retaking it when somebody's,
You kind of lost it.
you kind of lost it. I feel like there's a statute of limitations. Like, I feel like it's 200 years. Then you're not retaking it. Then you're taking it, If it's within 200 years, you're retaking it. But it was no, and that was the turning point. So I find it fascinating that the bear has been the symbol. Now, so what do we got here? And there's still more history to go. I'm not turning back from the fireside yet. So you want to be serving this licor de Madrueño. You got the bear and you got the tree. You want to be serving this after your big meal, right through the holidays. My father-in-law loved it today. Served it on ice. We're going to drink it straight.
My dad is into anything that is quite sweet.
Yeah,
so.
it's sweet, but it's got alcohol, so it doesn't feel too, it's got... It's not like...
It has a presence there,
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Oh, geez, I thought it was... I thought it had one of those tops on it where not much came out, but that is not the case. So, this is great entertainment. James is great right now. I'm dying. Lol. I was just like talking about history, and then it became like somehow it's humorous.
A joke.
So we have the El Oso del Madroño, the bear and the Madroño tree, and this liqueur. There are records of in the 17th century of Philip IV drinking this when he was feeling ill, a liqueur made from the fruit of the Madroño tree. Interesting fact is, and I've got it here, the Latin, the tree is called Arbutus unedo, which means a tree in which you should only eat one fruit. Because here's what happens with this fruit. It has a very high sugar content, and it ferments, and the bears get drunk on it. Or there's no bears anymore.
Animals get drunk.
Animals get drunk.
If they eat it when it's sunny, right?
Yeah.
When the sun is hitting it.
Because it's fermenting the fruit.
Yeah.
So this is the classic Madrid liqueur. What's the history? Okay, the kings were drinking it 400 years ago. In the 1940s, it was rediscovered by a man named Cruz, great name, Cruz Palomo. It's like made up. Cruz Palomo.
I love Palomo.
He existed. And so Cruz Palomo was a famous pastry chef in Lavapiés, and he was out hunting one day, and he got hungry, and so he ate some of the Madroño berries, and he sort of like got dizzy, so there's Mayo, got dizzy and went to the doctor. I mean, I'm sure he's inflated the story. Went to the doctor and was like, what's wrong? Something's wrong with me. And they're like, no, you got drunk on the Madroño berries. And so this pastry chef started making pastries with Madroño in them and brought back the tradition that had been, during the Middle Ages, something that people drank, started making liqueur from Madroño. His family still make it. And this is, 40, 60, 80 years later almost, this is the liqueur that they still make. This is the true maker of Madroño Madrid. And I have never been that big drinker of Madroño because it's actually quite hard to find.
Yeah.
And I'm into it. I'm all in on the liqueur thing. So here's the thing. It kind of cracked the code for me because I was like, what do I offer my father-in-law? My mother-in-law doesn't really drink, but my brother-in-law, like at the end of a meal, had the coffee, had the thing. And I was like, do you guys, and I said, I had this, and I was like, do you guys want some licor de Madroño? Yeah, great. And they loved it on the ice.
Yeah.
So it's all liqueur.
Did my dad have a second one, or he stayed on the
He was like sucking the ice. Like, I mean, they had to leave because we had to prepare for the live stream. So he would have loved to see, like, literally, I've never seen him like
go
so
like
nuts
that.
on anything in a glass before. Okay, what are you smelling in here?
Oh, I
Yoly?
haven't even smelled.
Probably Madroño. I hope Madroño.
Yeah. Hope Madroño. Yeah.
Are you still doing tapas crawls in Madrid? Me personally not, but Devour Tours is going strong. We have great guides, so yeah, you can book the tapas tours in there.
Tell you what, I smell lollies.
Yeah.
Is that common?
The Reconquista has not been cancelled. That is true.
I smell lollies.
Lollies. Yes, it's the moops. I love that joke. Okay, Erjan, you did it with Ewan. He is an amazing guide.
Yes.
Yeah, digestivo.
History, no? He knows all about history and art.
I love money and add the multiply. The bear obviously originates from the logo of Atletico, of course. Hola pareja, me alegro de veros. Los vinos españoles son buenos a partir de 5 euros. Wow.
Okay.
Maybe.
Did you see the video?
Have you seen the video last week?
Let's see.
Bill's hey, good to see you, Bill. He's enjoying the history lessons. C.S. Lewis is judging you right now. Palinka. What is palinka? Narnia. Yeah.
Palinka is this drink. Isn't it kind of licorice?
Maybe.
Yeah.
So 20 degrees alcohol. Yeah, it's like sweet, but there's I don't know what it just smells like Madrueño. Like I don't know how it's like. I'm not gonna tell you what it smells like because it smells like Madrueño.
Yeah, I can't really get a lot. Apart from lollies.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah, it's lovely. Perfect way to end a meal like that, but it's not super strong. Like 20 degrees. Like sometimes these can have like 40 degrees, and some of that can be good.
Yeah.
I like to order the Orujo Blanco, which is like the grappa, but they never have it. And I always
it
look
shocks
like
the waiter. It's like, oh, this guy is for real.
That's my way. So here you want, if you want to show you're legit in a meal, you do have to wait till the end. When they come around with the crema de orujo and the licor de hierbas, all these drinks that I'm not really big on. You want to say, give me orujo blanco. Tienes orujo blanco, which is just like pure, clear alcohol. And they're always like, ooh. No, we don't.
But you are.
Now and again they have
real?
it. Okay. Licor de Madrueño. La bebida más castiza de Madrid.
Eso.
Oh, it's really good. It's really good. This is how we're ending our meals these holidays. I know it's how your father-in-law's ending his meals.
He's loving it.
Should we do a little catch up here?
Yeah. Terry, thank you for that.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you for that super chat. How different is this liqueur to Pacharan? It's similar, right? In a way.
It is quite similar. This one.
Oh, there we go. She doesn't like Pacharan.
This one is quite kind of sweeter, nicer flavor. Nicer
than Pacharan. There you go. We might have lost Lucia right now for the rest of the tasting, I believe. Oh, maybe was it something I said? Yeah. She's also going through the 3-month lactation crisis where her vision has developed. So when she's breastfeeding, she's like looking around constantly and like easily distracted. But you're stuck with me now, guys. Happily, we're finishing up because Yoly is the best thing that this channel has to offer. Has COVID changed how pincho bars operate in San Sebastian? I haven't been up there. I think they're covering the pinchos. That's what I think is happening. But you're allowed to go into the bar, the full deal now. So it's, nothing's changed there. Where do you guys stand on Pedro Jimenez? I love Pedro Jimenez. When you get Pedro Jimenez, you have to this is the sweet sherry. You have to make sure that it has a good acidity to it. So it's not too sweet, because it can just be like, you want some acidity. Even if it's sweet, pour it over vanilla ice cream. That aroma is poopy diapers. Yeah, exactly. Stephen and I were just there and nothing has really changed. Mask up. Do they sell that here in the United States, the Licor de Madrueño? I don't think so. You can hardly find it in Madrid. You'd have to get the wine pack, which you can get if you click the link. But no, I don't. I would think this would be very hard to find in the US, the Licor de Madrueño. So this is our tasting, guys. Tell me, let us know if you have any other questions. I'll pop the information if you're interested to learn more down below. I'll pop the link in again. A reminder, again, I didn't do this last time and people were like, can I buy the wines? I'll just pop it in there. So if you want to get these wines, you got to order in the next 24 hours to get them in time. If you're in the States, 3 to 4 weeks delivery, and the discount will run for the next week or so. You can order them in the next week and, just get a little tight with time. Let me know any questions, you guys. Let's kind of what did you think? What wine would you want to try out of these? I'm curious to know what stood out for you. Let me know. I'm gonna. There is a 30-second delay, so I say miss. Savvy Favvy, I'm trying to order 2 boxes, but it looks like I have to purchase each one separately? ? Maybe. maybe. Do you have to order each one separately? Good for you for ordering 2 boxes. That sounds like a very festive year you're going to have. Maybe it's a gift. Maybe you do. I don't know the answer to that if you have to buy them separately, but you might. Whatever works. You should be able to buy them all at once, but if you have to buy it separately, then let me find out. I've got my friend Kike who runs the shop. I've got him on WhatsApp here, and he'll let us know if he can do it. If not, you can always drop an email. There'll be an email link in the shop website. You can email a link to email and find out what the deal is. Okay, I'm catching up. Cava looks great. That's what we're seeing. I'm keen on the red wines and the licor de Madrueño. Yeah, the licor de Madrueño is interesting, and particularly if you've never had something like that. And what's interesting is there's not many producers of it even in Madrid. So it's not like it was invented by this guy Cruz Palomo and then this is made by someone else. This is the family still making it, that still make it. Does Spain have natural wines? Yep, there's natural wines being made here. Could you do an only cava tasting? I could. I guess in the end, sometimes, we only do one of these once a year, so I never want to go too ultra niche. Okay, I never want to go super niche and do like cava. But I was thinking as I was jogging, maybe I could do, I don't know, maybe a mid-year tasting or something like that. I have to be careful about overcommitting now that we have a child. So I've just checked from Kike. He says, yes, they have to be bought separately because of how the shipping works. It's a shipping price. We can't combine the shipping. So it is one and then the next one. Carol says, who am I kidding? I love them all. That's probably the best answer. Maureen, hey guys, my great niece Baby G is about the same age. She is a little baldy, however, so always has a paste on boa flower. It's funny how some babies are born with hair and some aren't. What a star little Lucia is. Her first live stream was really great. Her parents are not too shabby either. Thank you for that. What percentage is the liqueur? 20%. 20%. Yeah, Lucia really lasted right until the end. She was like, once we hit the liqueur and she knew it was finishing up, she was like, I'm out of here, guys. I've co-starred long enough. Bad in bottle. That's a non sequitur for me. I don't know what that means. The cava and the licor de Madrueño. There's a lot of interest in this licor de Madrueño, which is interesting. And the Albarino, yeah, I think the Albarino is particularly interesting if you've tried Albarino and you want to try something that's a little slightly different Albarino, something that isn't going to be gone like that. It isn't just going to be super like wine water. That's you're sipping it and it disappears. More wine tasting videos. Cava tasting. There's a lot of love for the cava tasting. What else? Have you mentioned the shipping to the US for the wine pack? Peter, welcome Peter. Good to see you. Good to see you guys here. Peter, yes, there is shipping to the US for the wine pack. You came in late. So it's shipping to the US, UK, Europe, and Spain. The wine pack. If you want to get them. Peter, if you do, I know you're in the States. That if you do want to get it, be more certain that it's going to get there for the holidays, you want to order in the next 24 hours because the next it ships about once a week. But you can also order them before the 22nd to kind of that's your final deadline. That's also when the price goes up after the 22nd. The discount disappears. But if you really want to be sure, you want to order within the next 24 hours. Did you put out a video last week about Spanish wines? I know Steve I know you're trolling me there, Jeff, I should say. You didn't get me. Normally you would have got me. And I would be like, oh, thank you for asking, Jeff. Actually, yes, I did. But I appreciate being trolled by someone other than Yoly. Recap again. What was your favorite? Top 2 wines this tasting. Okay, Maribel. I don't know. Like, tonight, what am I feeling? Ribera Sacra. Loved that. I don't know. Maybe the vermouth, just because it's so special and it's so special to drink a vermouth that's been aged. I know it's such a hopeless answer, but it really are. There's some really, really cool wines here, so it's hard for me to say. What are we buying boxes of? Gary says. You don't have to buy a box of anything, but you're buying boxes of wine if you want. Do you ship to Russia? Not currently, I'm afraid, Victor. I'm sorry about that. I wish we could ship to more places. For me, Mike says Mike has had the Guimaro, so it's the vermouth that interests you the most. Rats, I missed the stream. When are you coming to Valencia? Soon, I hope. They're about to lower the prices for the Ave to Valencia. Best wine bar recommendations in Madrid? So Jeff will tell you, but if you watch the video I made last week, I made it in all the best wine bars in Madrid. Also, you can also pick up our Madrid Revealed City Guide. If you go to SpainRevealed.com, you can see it up there. Our Madrid Revealed City Guide has all my favorite wine bars as well. So if you go to SpainRevealed.com, you can see at the top where you can buy the guide. Are you coming out with the updated city guide? Yes, actually, I was working on it this week, and I'll put the link in there if some people are interested. I was working on it last week, and I plan to come out with it in a few weeks. Let me pull it up, so if anyone's interested. So one thing, just so you know, though, Mike. No, sorry, it was Jeff who asked. There's not that much to change. Not many. Only a few places have closed. Very few places. So really, it's an update. What am I doing in the update? I'm removing the 5 of maybe the 80 places that I mentioned. Maybe 5 have closed. So I'm removing those. And all the best places are still open. And I'm also going to add for our new neighborhood, Pueblo Nuevo, where we live. I'm going to add in a place for that. If you want to get on the metro and get out to the neighborhoods, it'll have the tapas bars that we like in our old neighborhood. So that's a place you can get to if you want to get out of the historic center, and also in our new neighborhood. So I want to add that in there as well. So hang up. Are you homesick? I miss my family. We're going to try and get back to New Zealand as soon as we can. What about Pacharan? I love Pacharan. Yeah, it's Pacharan is great. My compliments again on the live tasting, says Marco. We will sure be trying when we're back. The wine video with the wine. Is there additional shipping and custom costs on the 6 wines? No, that's the full deal. Vale. Yoli's just telling me she's not coming back. She's putting it actually is Luthea's bedtime, literally at 9 o'clock. So Yoli's out until next Christmas tasting. What's that? She said she loves you guys. Is there additional shipping and custom costs? No, I've answered that. No, that's the full deal. Okay. I'm enjoying this wine tasting, Amelia says. Love all your videos. Thank you so much, Olivia. And thank you, Jeff. It's a great guide. So whatever you add will be much appreciated. I put the link into the Madrid Reveal guide. And I should say, if you buy it before we release the update, which will be in sort of 3 weeks or so, I'm going to send you the updated one for free. So there's no fear of buying it now. If you want to start reading it, it's not going to change that much. Like literally 5 bars will be removed and a new neighborhood will be added. So that's up to you. When are you doing another masterclass? So that's about our Move to Spain masterclass. Emily's asking. We're about 75% through the current one, which is the second intake. Finishing up in about 3 weeks and running it again early February. Planning to run it early February. So if you want to check out the Move to Spain masterclass, I'm putting you guys are asking for it. I always feel like I don't want to overload people with links, but if you want to sign up and you're interested in the masterclass, I've put that in there. Did you see the Ardern vid where she refused to answer the question about Israeli vax rates? Didn't see that. Not quite sure what that is. If we drop your name at Casatoni, do you get special treatment? Probably will. Yeah, probably. I don't know. Fun fact, licor de hierbas is actually an ancient Mayan Caribbean drink. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. Peter just ordered your case. Thank you, Peter. I know. I believe you ordered last year, so I'm looking forward to hearing what you think of the wines. Do we have to buy a whole case? Yeah, I mean, the wines, in Spain are available individually, but we're not able to ship less than 6. So I'm going to hang out here for about 5 more minutes to sort of answer a few questions. There's some good questions coming in, including, are you a rugby fan? Does Yoly understand rugby? I am a rugby fan, but, I got off sport a while back because I'm not that into sport. And also, it's very painful when your team loses, as the All Blacks did yesterday. So, does Yoly understand rugby? Maybe. Not sure. I think we've only ever watched one game together. Do you accept Bitcoin as payment? No, I'm afraid we don't. Not that... haven't got our stuff organized that much. I would love to be able to accept Bitcoin. That would mean I would be very organized. Okay. How about an aperitif and digestif tasting? That would be cool. And just skipping the whole bit in the middle. Carol, that's very generous of you. Super chat. You and Yoly kept me going through COVID. Thanks for taking the time to put the con together. I appreciate that, Carol. Thank you. Okay. Drop in your comments. Drop in your comments if you want to ask a question. Speak now or forever hold your peace. How am I hanging up on my own, you know? I feel like my throat is starting to get dry. I need to start drinking these wines. Would you watch a live stream where I just finished off the whole lot? Would that be interesting? I will come and visit you guys when I get to Madrid. We look forward to you coming. Aloha, I will order and send my box to the AC Cal to Madrid. I think that's going to be a welcome gift when I arrive. That's a good idea. If you're coming to Madrid, you could get it sent to the hotel. Make sure you call the hotel first. I haven't tried, Jackie, that Mayan specialty that you mentioned. But it sounds good. Okay. Well, is that us? There's no... Okay, a few more comments coming in. It's like a drug. I love to read the comments. It seems like such a great selection. How could you choose as one favorite? I'm looking forward to trying them all. So glad I ordered the pack. Last year was awesome too. Thank you, Kathy. You ordered last year. Can I get 6 bottles of licor de Madrueño? Wow. I don't think so. But if you see a link there for the email, you could drop an email there. I'm just checking. Okay. I'm looking. I like your videos about books on Spain. Any new recommendations? I should do another video about books on Spain. I have a list of some books that I haven't had a chance to read. I haven't done a lot of reading over the last 3 months. But maybe I should figure out doing like an advanced reader's guide to books on Spain. But I haven't read any yet. My wife is looking at the case deal. Anticipation. She controls the purse strings. Good luck. What is the plan with this wine drop bucket? Please don't drink it. I am not going to drink this. I promise. I'm going to bathe in it, actually. Okay. Thanks, James and Yoly. Hey, it's Andrew. Andrew and Michelle. Friends from the Move to Spain Masterclass. They took the first intake and big wine gurus. Haha. Let's get trolled live stream. Jancis Robinson. Is that the Jancis Robinson, the famous wine person? I suspect it's not. But welcome, Jancis, to becoming a member. Okay, hanging out a little longer. Did you mention earlier about doing a YouTube group face-to-face in Madrid? No plans right now. Here, let me put in, if you have any questions about ordering, here, I've got it here. Let me put this in here. If you have any questions about the pack, I've just put the email in that you can order. You can ask any questions about, getting all the Madrueño liqueurs or anything like that. Your neighbors might not be getting anything. Yeah, not quite sure about that. So no current plans to do a meetup. Still being a bit careful with COVID right now, mainly because of Lucia. Like, we're vaccinated, but just, she's under 1. And I hear that's a time when you have to be, careful that their immune systems aren't fully built up. So being a little careful there. Is contactless payment a thing in Spain? Very much so. Contactless payment is, I literally don't even pull my card out anymore, and payment is available everywhere. Peter, $100. My God. Yeah. Peter, every time you get on a live stream, you're very generous and I get all blushed and red. But wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Peter. I really appreciate that. That's very generous of you guys. I've seen you more bombed before. I think you're doing pretty good considering. Do Spanish action? That's an interesting question from Jeff. Do Spaniards drink wine from the New World? Not really. No, I've tried to get some, you have to be really into wine to drink New World wine, because you're going to be paying, because you can get such good bang for your buck in Spain for Spanish wine. Even if you're spending 30 euros, that's going to be a great 30 euros well spent. That to spend on a New World wine that are more expensive in and of themselves, and then with all the shipping and customs, then no. No, they don't. I think I saw a Cloudy Bay once at a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. How can you receive the kit before next year's wine tasting so we can taste it along with you? That would be interesting, doing it in advance, if that's possible. That would require a lot of organization. But I when I thought about that, I also thought about people don't necessarily want to drink it all in one hit and open all these wines. They actually want to enjoy it over a period of time. So I wonder how many people would be into that. Love the idea of a book list. We do have some book videos. If you Spain Revealed recommended books, I do have one video on that. Okay. Hey man, great videos. I'm from the EU, want to move to Spain. Am I going to be fine with regular Spanish in Valencia, or should I learn Valencian? You're going to be totally fine. Yeah, you're going to be totally fine. Everyone speaks Spanish in Valencia. I'll be happy to pay in Bitcoin if you start allowing payments for that. Good to know. Yeah, I mean, certainly the world's moving in that direction. Thank you. Shane says, I've seen you guys online and your tours are brilliant, or you are brilliant. I've lived in Spain for 6 years in Tarragona. Cool, Shane. Actually, we might be heading to Tarragona at some point to make a video, a Casots video. So, okay. So I'm going to start to finish up. Remember, guys, if you want to buy these wines, if you want to enjoy this pack over the holidays, particularly if you're in the States where it's 3 to 4 weeks shipping, you want to buy in the next 24 hours. The pinned comment at the top has the link. And also I've put the email in there for the wine shop if you're interested in that. Last year I only mentioned it once and everyone emailed and like, can I buy the wine? So I'm being a little bit pesado about it. But again, we ship to the UK, Spain, Europe. But yeah, for the US, you want to buy it. The discount that's on them disappears in about 8 days or so. Your total last minute date is the 22nd, but ideally you order it in the next 24 hours for the States if you want them to get there for the holidays. James from Scotland, how are you and Yoly doing? We're doing great. Thank you, James. What is the cheapest city in Spain? Somewhere in Extremadura, I suspect. I would say Merida, maybe. I think I read somewhere is very cheap. Will you ever visit USA to tour our wineries? No, but when we go to New Zealand, I do want to do some tapas videos through New Zealand. If not drinking Spanish wine, what other countries do you prefer? Portuguese wine? You know, Maribel, it's actually a challenge here because there's not a lot of demand for non-Spanish wine in Spain. It can be quite hard to get. I mean, there's shops that sell it, but it can be quite hard to get wine from outside Spain. And also, I really enjoy just drinking Spanish wine. Maybe I'm a little bit lazy. Also, I don't want to spend too much money. And so I get great bang for my buck with Spanish wine. There's so much more to taste and learn. It also helps me to learn and taste Spanish wines because there's more wines for me to talk about. Builds my knowledge. It's, drinking wine is a way of traveling. Like the wines from Galicia, the Guimaro is lighter. It's from the north. It's cooler up there. So really, yeah, I'm still kind of obsessed with Spain. But when I go back to New Zealand, I really get into the New Zealand wines. So it would be cool to have a foodie video from Celta. That would be very cool, actually. That would be very cool, MG Smith 4. Not your real name. Jeff says, great time, thank you. Can't wait to taste the special wine and the liqueur. That's super, super cool, Jeff, that you've ordered the pack. So, yeah. Wow, how long are we going for? We're going for like 2 hours and 15 minutes. To those who have stayed, there's still 317 people on here. When I see questions keep coming through, I just start to hang out. I am going to finish up, though. And so, I don't know. What else do I have to say? I should go and have dinner. I should go and make dinner. I should go and make sure Lucia's getting to bed. I mean, Yoly's got that covered. I should go and give this to the neighbors, except for the Vermouth and the Rioja and everything else. I should just go and put this all in the fridge and keep drinking it tomorrow. Can this ship to Canada? Currently, we can't ship to Canada, I'm afraid. Carrefour does foreign wine selection. That's a good tip, Heidi. Yeah, there is some foreign wine available. So, what is your all-time favorite Spanish wine? Yeah, I mean, I don't really have one. It depends on my mood, I guess I love different regions more than others. I mean, these are a good reflection of what I love right now. I love a good classic, a Rioja. I love Albariño. I love the red wines from the Northwest, the Rías Baixas. I love Vermouth. I love all this stuff. So I know it sounds like a cop-out. When I used to work in film, people would say, what's your favorite film? But it's like, it does depend a little bit on the mood. Tony says, we started with you, so we'll finish. All right. I don't want to outstay my welcome. I'm going to head off. For those of you who have ordered the wine, I hope you enjoy it. Let me know. Send me an email. And, when it gets there, I've got some great emails last year from the people who ordered the wine and really enjoyed it. Send me a photo or something of having it with your turkey or whatever it is. I always love to see that. It's great to share a little bit of Spain with you as we lead up to the holiday. And it's exciting. The holidays are coming. I'm super excited about spending Christmas with Lucia and having her as a part of our family. It's going to be amazing. It feels like a very, very special year after a pretty rough 18 months. So remember, if you want to get these wines, if you're in the States, you got to order in the next 24 hours. And yeah, we'll see you guys in Spain. Thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying. I feel pretty proud that we did this with Lucia here and Yoly breastfeeding and everything like that. It felt like we pulled one off. So I'm out of words. I'm done. I'm out of here. Okay, last comment. Thanks, Spain Revealed. This was a lot of fun and great to see you all, says Matt. Thank you, Matt. Matt's a wonderful member. He comes to all the members' live streams pretty much, and he's a great member of the community. And yeah, it's great to see people here I know, you know? I mean, look, we haven't met in person in some cases. Some cases we have. Erjan, who's here, we've met in person. But yeah, it's great to have a sense of community of people who love Spain, and I guess that's what it's all about. And all right, I'm going to get rambly. I'm going to get sentimental. I'm going to end the live stream. Ciao, everybody. Bye-bye.